One day the young man was sitting in prison, but then a lady with blonde hair came to him. She extended her hand towards Pian, but the boy only grabbed it and then asked who she was. And also, how does he know the girl is confused? She replied that she was a fairy, which made the guy look at her with disbelief. The girl wondered if it was really so unexpected, and that he was such an unfriendly boy. However, 6 years later, the young man turns to the fairy and claims that he missed her. The main character is shocked. She tells the guy to wait and suggests that he let go of her hands first. The girl realizes that her heart almost stopped. But Pian replies that he doesn't want to, because she will immediately go to the world of fairies. The young lady screams, "What is he even talking about?" But as a child, he didn't believe in it. The guy claims that he simply couldn't be honest. After all, the lady is so beautiful that it cannot be that she is not a fairy. The young man asks if he is right, after which the main character screams in confusion that he is doing this on purpose and realizes that this guy has become completely different. One day, a young lady saw pills on the table and a note that said the juice had expired, but it was a shame to throw it away, so let the girl drink it. The main character then asked if she was really the waste disposal section, but she thought that it was okay. After all, she's already gotten used to this kind of treatment and thinks that there's nothing wrong with the fact that the deadline has expired. So the girl drank this juice and understood that no one would return anyway, and she would go to sleep. But when she lay down in bed, she realized that her stomach hurt a lot. It was an ordinary night when she began to lose consciousness. Well, when she woke up, it was a world from a literary work. The first emperor of the Bariana Empire was an elf who possessed two miracles, creation and healing. He fell in love with a human woman, and they had a child. Baryons were born with magical abilities, but perhaps because of the mixture with human genes, the descendants were not strong in them, so the descendants of the dragon Chiron aimed at them. To protect his descendants, Pleta passed on his power to the second ruler, and he in turn to the third. The fourth one continued the succession, and now this system has been in place for 3,000 years. In Bariana, one of them is named Helen, and she was born with identical magical powers as the first ruler. Another one was named Lyra, and she didn't have a drop of magic. Hey girl, really doesn't know the reason. Well, she turned out to be this Lyra. At this time, one of the women claims that the girl as always is acting recklessly, and she is even a pity. Well, nothing can be done because she inherited bad genes and is dressed in such rags. After which, one of them asks if the girl is not ashamed at all, but the main character thinks if she can hold her tongue. One of the ladies claims that it is useless, because this girl lives in a separate palace without a mother. The main character understands that this lady does not even hide her hostility. After which, another lady at the table asserts that Her Majesty is truly merciful. The woman then turns to the children and tells them to take care of Her Majesty's seed and does not exclude her from her circle. One of the women asks if this was true and whether it is even possible to call someone who does not possess magic at all, and also not having green eyes with the seed of Her Majesty. Another lady says how rude it was of her. After all, it was not worth saying this in the presence of Princess Lyra. Well, the young lady looking at her expression understands that it says the opposite. Another lady says that maybe she doesn't understand it, but it's natural to ask questions of the world. And so, her Odalia's daughter, who has a great curiosity, will soon become the treasure of the country. At this time, the Empress suggests closing the topic with the seed. However, she says that the girl does not drink tea today, and she prepared it especially for the lady, so she wondered if she could try it. The girl then agrees, but thinks how she doesn't want to, and what will be in this mug this time. She has no desire to drink, but she won't get away with it, and will have to agree, after which the main character drinks the cup in one gulp. One of the ladies says that even her manners do not correspond to her status, but the Empress smiles. After all, she sees how the lady makes her face, after which a piece of cake flies to the girl. One young man apologizes and claims that he thought he would treat her, but he miscalculated his strength. Well, she doesn't understand anything anyway. She doesn't have any magic. The little girl with pink hair claims that this is so interesting, wants to do the same, but the guy claims that she can't, after which the girl claims that she is also from the royal family, and she can't be like her sister. Helen can throw a cake at this girl. The main character thinks that the cake is not needed for throwing. At this time, the Empress turns to Tyrone and Angelina and tells them to be friends. After all, they are brother and sister. after which the main character wonders if she is really their sister. At this time, the Empress turns to Princess Lyra and asks how long she will sit in these clothes. After all, she advises her to change her clothes quickly. The main character gets angry and thinks after that, because of whom in her opinion this happened, after which she thanks Letty and asks to be allowed to leave. When the girl moves on, she screams how they all irritate her, and they think that they can get away with it. They throw cake at her using magic, and if the first ruler found out about this, he would definitely scold them. But the girl also thinks what will happen if the whole family gathers, because it will be hell. When she read about such strife in the book, it was quite interesting. But in reality, his real life is completely the opposite. And if you remember, Lyra from the book was initially lifeless. Therefore, the girl thinks about what caused this, and she remembers that when she came into this world, someone strangled her. And perhaps it was a deliberate immersion into eternal sleep. But she does not know the details, after which the girl also looks at the table where the ladies are sitting. And then he begins to use his power, after which the wind rises above the table, and the cake that is not far from Tyrone starts to fall on him. The maids then run up to the master and scream why this happened so suddenly. Another servant says to call security immediately, and the guy screams that this can't be. This is definitely someone's magic. But Odelia tells his brother to think carefully. After all, only Her Majesty and Sister Helen can possess such strong magic. But the guy wonders how the girl will explain it. Then, the main character is sitting in the bushes at this time and understands that the hour of retribution has come, after which she sighs and begins to use magic, and also thinks why suddenly the one who is not capable of magic. She became its owner, and there must definitely be a reason for this. Well, the girl understands that the main thing is to keep it a secret, after which she decides to go and meet Pian. A little while later, she teleports to the prison, and she wonders if it is always so cold there, after which the girl creates a lamp. And he also thinks that it's good that it's become brighter, but it's somehow not appropriate for this place, because the interior is a complex thing. At this time, the guy gets up from the floor, and the main character says that he scared her, after which she asks if she woke him up. The girl also apologizes and says that it was just dark. The young man then says that she smells terrible. The main character asks if this is true, and she was swimming after, which the guy claims that he is not talking about the stench. After all, it's the smell of poison. The meeting between the main character, Helen and Pian, in the book, The Dragon and the Empire, took place on the ruins of the Hayard house. One of the knights claimed that the entire territory of the Duke's house was destroyed, and he understood everything. However, there was not a single living soul there. But the princess then noticed something, after which she claimed that she heard a sound. The woman lifted the stones with her powers and saw a guy there. She asked if he was okay and told him to hold on. And it's also good that she found him and can fix him. Pian lived locked up for 6 years, and Helen, who saved him, could not control his dragon power, was his light and savior, and also his first love. Well, it wasn't only Pian who was obsessed with Helen, because she was also loved by the black dragon Paris and the blue dragon Daniel. Their desire to get Helen created enmity between Bariana and Chiron, and in the end, only Pian remained near the heroine. And he, who was protecting and also looking only at her, fell into eternal sleep early in a fight with another dragon. The girl who read this work got angry and screamed, "Are they really kidding me? Why did Pian have to go into eternal sleep?" After all, he is her favorite character, and the only heir of the ducal family, and also a handsome man. So the girl wondered why the main character wasn't him. She also screamed that she would not forgive this. After her character fell into eternal sleep, the girl abandoned the book, and thus, this work began to be erased from memory. And then they met even though he was 6 years younger. The guy asks if the girl is even listening to him because he says that she smells like poison. Lyra claims that she thinks it's because of that incident, but it's okay because she won't fall into eternal sleep. And let him better tell how he is and also show his wounds. The young lady understands that she recently healed him, and he has wounds again. Well, even though this is a written work, how can you abuse a child like that and keep him locked up for 6 years? After which, the girl heals his wounds and says that everything is ready, and also asks if he hurts anywhere else. The guy asks why she doesn't remove her poison, to which the girl replies that she is not capable of such a thing. After which, the guy looks at her with a displeased face, and the young lady understands that, of course, she lied about the fairy. Well, she can't open up, after which the guy says that she doesn't know herself and suggests that she try. Lyra asks if he is really worried about her, because if so, then the guy is such a good boy. Becomes embarrassed after this, and then lies back down and claims that it makes no difference to him. Lyra understands that it looks like he was offended, but in the book, he had a cooler character. So the girl wonders if it's because he's a child. Now Lyra puts his hand on Piantdi, and she wishes him good night and then leaves. The guy understands that this girl treats him like a child, and the main character at this time returns and realizes that she is pleased that the guy cares about her. But she can't cure herself even if she really wants to, because she will definitely be sick tomorrow. Now the girl is lying in bed and writhing in pain and wondering if this is the end for her, after which she even wonders what kind of crazy person this is. At this time, the Empress enters the room and says that she sees that the girl is having a hard time. The main character then turns to her to His Highness, and the woman claims that she will cause them trouble if she quickly falls into eternal sleep. After which she grabs the girl by the neck and tells her to feel all the pain. Well then, she finally turns to the maid and tells her to bring the medicine, to which the girl agrees. And the Empress leaves and tells Princess Lyra to rest. The main character a little while later has medicine, but he thinks that it is terrible because even they do not help. The girl also thinks that no one will come in, after which she begins to heal herself, and when she finishes, she understands that it is much easier for her. And after all, health comes first for a person. The girl also claims that if she could pretend like a professional, she would not have to go through so much torment. She was really scared because this woman immediately noticed that she was just pretending. She got rid of those who allegedly helped her and plunged the innocent into eternal sleep. From this incident, everyone started it avoid, but the main character thinks that it is better for her. After which she also gets out of bed and understands that she will at least go to the bathroom and take a bath. A little while later, the girl is already sitting in the bath and thinking how good she feels, and maybe she should add some petals. After which she does just that, but still understands that she went a little overboard. The girl also thinks that she can't heal herself every time, because reincarnation is already unrealistic, and she also has magic. The sky, she sees the taste she feels, and even the pain she feels. It's all real, but in some ways it's still like a dream. The girl also thinks that the most important question arises about Lyra herself. She has wind magic and movement, as well as healing and creation, so the girl thinks by having all this, she continued to endure bullying. If she had left the Empire, she wouldn't have had to endure all this. Although perhaps she only gained such power after reincarnation. And the girl understands that she has already become so accustomed to magic, and she is also interested in whether at least her family regrets it. And does the concept of love even exist in this imperial family? Lyra's mother, who was the 7th princess, she had long been immersed in eternal sleep, and not a word from her father. So what kind of regret can we talk about? And yet the scene she saw when she got here may be connected with all of this. After which the girl thinks that, oh, well, because for her, they are all strangers, and she won't be eaten up by a feeling of guilt. If she stays there, they will only make fun of her. So it was decided that she leaves. The girl can use magic, so there will be no problems with money, and she can take care of herself. Well, what worries her is pain. The guy at this time looks at the lamp that the main character created, after which she claims that she has no taste at all. A little while later, the girl already uses her magic. She lands on one of the towers and sighs, and also thinks that she just stole the thing, and isn't the security there too weak? Or maybe she's just too good at magic. The girl looks at this little thing and thinks how beautiful it is, because it looks just like a jewel. But then she also realizes that it is not the time to look at her, and she needs to quickly head to Piane, after which the girl teleports to the prison. And when she looks out from around the corner, she sees some woman, but she screams at the maid not to give this guy water, because he is an unbearable child. She also wonders where this lamp came from, after which she throws it on the floor, and also screams who brought it there. Lyra understands that it was her. The woman screams furiously that instead of weakening, he is blossoming and someone is definitely looking after him. The maid claims that this cannot be, because there would not be such a person in their house, after which the woman claims that this guy is called the heir, and if she gives birth to a son, they will quickly get rid of him, because he would rather fall into eternal sleep from illness. After which the woman also says that maybe it is worth bringing there a non-living body that has fallen into eternal sleep due to illness. The main character is then in shock and thinks about what she just said. The maid then turns to the mistress in surprise, and she answers that she knows, and she just said it. And yet whoever helps this guy doesn't get away with it, after which they head back. The main character then looks out from around the corner and thinks that she will not return, after which she heads towards Piani. Well, when she looks at the guy, she sees that he is in a very bad condition, so the girl immediately picks him up and screams, "Is he okay?" After this, the young man only sadly says that the lamp was taken away, and also apologizes. The main character screams that she doesn't care about the lamp, and that she can create as many of them as she wants. Lyra, she understands that she is an idiot, because she didn't think that if he was without frames, it would look strange and continued to treat him. After which, the girl claims that she will cure him now, but she understands that if she cures him now, then this woman will come again and beat him. So the young lady wonders if the number of injuries increased because of her, and all this happened because she treated them, and because of her payan suffered so much. But then the guy just hugs Lyra and claims that she no longer smells like poison, so he is happy. The girl almost cries because of this, and understands that things won't work out this way. After all, why should he tolerate such an attitude because of her? She doesn't care anymore about the story and the work, and she won't let him offend this woman anymore. After which, the girl begins to treat the guy, and then even suggests that he run away. The young man then asks how they can do this, after which the main character hands him the artifact. The guy asks what it is, after which the girl asks if he feels anything, but the young man only asks if he should. Lyra realizes that she has come up with 3 ways for them to escape. The first is to simply run away. This is the most convenient option for her, but this way she will take away Pian's future, and the guy won't be able to inherit the title of Duke after that. The second plan is to give Pian's power. That's why she stole this little thing for him, because it is the heart of a silver dragon. It is needed in order to strengthen the power of the dragon, and Barian, fearing the power of Charon, hid it for herself. But Pian hasn't transformed into a dragon yet, so this thing doesn't work. Third, the option is to spite that woman, because she can put the dragon's heart in her and make her guilty of theft. When they find out about this, they won't just leave her like that, and no matter what kind of duchess she is, there will be punishment. The girl thinks that it will certainly be a hassle to organize everything, but the scheme definitely works, and the result is not bad. Well then, the girl thinks what will happen to him and Helen, because 6 years later, they will not be able to meet if she saves him now. The main character then turns to the guy and asks what he wants. She wonders if he wants to take revenge on that woman, or to live quietly and peacefully in a remote village, and perhaps become a knight of a beautiful princess. The guy then asks why she immediately started talking about a knight, and the girl replies that she says, for example, well, in general, let him ask for whatever he wants, because the fairy will fulfill everything. The guy then claims that when a girl doubts, she immediately starts talking about a fairy. Well, the young lady replies that no, and she really is a fairy, after which she thinks how witty this guy is. At this time, the young man claims that now he wants to go with his mother to see Courant, but the main character remembers how that aunt. She told the boy to quickly plunge into eternal sleep like his mother, after which she apologizes and claims that she cannot revive people. But the young man replies that if he did not answer, she would still be alive. She simply sleeps for 1 year, and an ordinary person would fall into eternal sleep, while his mother has red dragon fluid flowing through her body, so this disease is not life-threatening. The main character says that this is how it is, and thinks that it is so good that his mother is alive, and then she won't have to invent anything. Lyra also claims that she will wake up his mother, and in return, let him become happy. The young man is only embarrassed after this, and Lyra claims that it is then decided, and asks if he can tell where his mother is. The guy replies that she is on the 2nd floor, in the farthest room, after which the young lady says that it is clear, and now she will fix everything. When the girl teleports to the bedroom, she thinks that it is strange and that the Duchess's bedroom is so gloomy, after which she goes inside and sees the woman herself and thinks how beautiful she is, and this is her favorite's mother. Hey, the girl thinks that her wife is so wonderful, so why cheat on her? The girl also tells Pian's mom that it's time to wake up, but when she starts using her magic, nothing happens. The main character is then surprised and asks her mother what is going on, after which everyone wishes her good morning. Lyra understands that she will try again, but when she does this, the woman is still sleeping. The main character wonders why she doesn't wake up. A little while later, the girl is in her room. She also thinks what happened yesterday and how she can decipher it, because her magic is really weak. But yesterday it had an effect on Pian. And by the way, she completely forgot about that evil aunt. After all, she would most likely mock him again, and she needed to avoid it yesterday. At this time, someone turns to Princess Lyra and claims that Princess Helen has come to see her. The girl is a little surprised after this, and her sister enters the room, after which the young lady even remembers the woman who strangled her and claimed that she would not forgive. Lyra thinks that she is seeing her for the first time. So why does she have the feeling that they have already met? The blonde at this time says that, as she looks at the state, is not good. But the main character says that she is all right. And she got the medicine, so everything is fine, but she thanks her sister for her care. After this, the girl says how tired she is of all this, if she really doesn't want to fall into eternal sleep. Then let him never call her sister again. The main character is surprised by this, and the blonde tells her to try not to catch her eye, because she is annoying. After which, everything goes away, and the main character thinks what the hell that was. After all, this girl herself came to her, and then also asked her not to be seen, and whether this was really Helen. But at least she looks like the main character, because the girl is smart and powerful, and is also the most suitable for the role of ruler. While the main character still doesn't understand whether she had such a character, and whether there isn't some kind of catch there. Or is it all because of, after all, in the book, Helen changed after she fell into eternal sleep? And perhaps, because she is alive, these changes are not visible, and most likely, Pian will become more cunning. But this is of course not bad. However, the girl thinks that now is not the time to think about this, because she needs to find a way to wake up his mother. The girl understands that she cannot be 100% sure that she understands magic, but she definitely knows how to heal. Her complexion definitely improved, and her breathing was restored. But then the girl wondered why she wasn't waking up. But then she also thinks that if it is not magic, then it is something else. That same evening, the young lady teleports to the woman again. And once again, he uses his magic on her. But it doesn't work again. Lyra understands that everything is the same as yesterday. But today, she definitely won't give up. The young lady also claims that she can't say that she fully understands her feelings, but she can imagine how much pain the lady was in. But don't stop there, because she has a plan. This woman is bullying her son, and the guy is locked in a dungeon, and they don't give him normal food, and this woman wants him to go into eternal sleep from illness. That's why he needs the lady, and the girl asks her, "Wake up and come to your son." After which, the woman opens her eyes and asks if Pian is okay now. The main character says that she could, and replies that yes, at the moment, he is alive and well. After which, she also asks how the lady is feeling. The woman replies that since yesterday, all the pain has gone away, but she was afraid to open her eyes and look at reality. Lyra understands that magic worked yesterday, and the woman simply did not want to wake up. At this time, the brunette asks if the lady knows about the dragon engraving, to which the girl replies that in general, yes. And he understands that, judging by the work, this is an oath that speaks of eternal love. In the book, this was between Pian and Helen. The woman claims that a dragon can only take an oath once in its life, and she as a person from Kiran has the same feature. For her to love one person and live with him her whole life. The main character understands that in the book, the other dragons paid all their attention only to Helen, that something is wrong with dragons. They are people who don't accept this. The human heart can cool down in an instant, and sometimes even love more than two people. The woman claims that unrequited feelings destroy their hearts. And even now, when she remembers her husband's betrayal, she feels so bad that she wants to plunge into eternal sleep. And the worst thing is that under all circumstances, she continues to love him. The main character understands that when she read the book, she thought it was very romantic. But on the other hand, everything is not so rosy, after which she tries to calm the lady down. The brunette then apologizes and claims that she just cried in front of her, but she felt better. The woman also claims that the lady is right, because she has something to protect, and she has no right to run away. As Toga wants Pian, she will go with him to Chiron. The main character is happy after this, and also thanks Madame Berelian for the decision made. The woman says how nostalgic it is, and she claims that she should thank the lady, after which she asks why the girl saves them, and how she found out that they are in a difficult situation. There is definitely potential for magic, so the woman is interested in where she comes from and what her parents do. Gets nervous after this, but claims that she is a fairy who came to fulfill any wishes of Piana. But the woman looks at her with distrust and then says that this is how it is, and if there is no desire to answer, then she will not ask anymore. Lyra understands that mother and son are exact copies of each other, and especially this reaction. At this point, the brunette starts to suggest her name, and the main character doesn't even know what to say, after which she screams that she has urgent business and jumps off the balcony. At this time, the woman is wondering what kind of child this is, and a little while later, the main character realizes that she has successfully returned this thing. Meline woke up, and now Pian is not in any danger, even if she was sleeping. This does not mean at all that she is weak. And if the guy starts, if she were to train, she would not be able to see him as before. But he will live a happy life, and this is the main thing, after which the girl says that it is time for her to think about how to get out of there. The young lady thinks where to go because she knows nothing about this area, and then decides to go and look for guidebooks. A little while later, the girl is already looking at the food and thinking how delicious it all looks. She also asks where she can try all this and reads the location. The girl also thinks that maybe she can create a book, because then she won't have to memorize. After which she makes a copy of the book and screams that everything is really there, and isn't it too cool? But then someone turns to the young lady and says that she is in the way, after which the girl apologizes. She also understands that both of these girls have green eyes, and does this mean that they are from the imperial family? She saw one of them at the tea party, but the girl also wonders if they saw her using magic. At this time, one of the ladies asks why the girl is looking at them like that, because she looks ridiculous. And the other one claims that Lyra doesn't know the simple rules of behavior in the library, and there are problems with ignorance. Well, her mother was the same because she tried to poison her sister Helen. The main character is shocked by this, and she wonders if Lyra's mother really wanted to poison Helen herself. The main character in the book wrote almost nothing about her mother. However, it is known that of all 13 princesses, she is the only commoner and the only woman who enjoyed the emperor's favor. However, for the crime of her execution line, the main character thinks whether these crimes were really an attempt to plunge the main character into eternal sleep. One of the girls at this time says that exactly, and she remembered after all Sister Helen really was in danger. Then Odilia claims that Sister Helen also drank what this woman gave her, and did she really have trust issues? The main character at this time understands that this is why Helen treated her so rudely then, but the girl also thinks that there is no evidence that the girls are telling the truth, and there is clearly something fishy there, so it is too early to believe their words. One of the girls at this time suggests to the other to go. Otherwise, Lyra will infect them with her nasty character. When they leave, the main character thinks how annoying it is, but then someone else turns to her and claims that it's quite strange because all you see is red liquid flowing through them. But they forget about it, and it's so sad. Well, the main character looks at these clothes, and the atmosphere, and also the manner of speech, after which he understands that this is the Emperor Christopher de Beriana. The man at this time asks if the girl wants him to punish these ladies, and the young lady understands that in the work he is not a good person, either because he became an emperor, thanks to strengthening ties with aristocratic families. And so he continues to maintain his status as emperor, but he himself cannot do anything. Therefore, all he could do was watch as his beloved woman was plunged into eternal sleep, and he felt sorry for her if he couldn't save even one woman. Then she shouldn't hope for his help either, after which the girl says that she doesn't want to drag him into problems. The man says that she is becoming more and more like her mother, and the main character claims that she is still her daughter, after which the emperor says that this is also true, and asks how her heart is. Lyra! She replies that it seems to be working and wonders if she really had heart problems. The man then says that this is good, and the girl understands that if you look at him closer, he is still so handsome. And this guy is the spitting image of the elf emperor. The man at this time puts his hand on the lady's head and tells her to listen. After all, he advises her to be more careful. The main character then asks what he is talking about, after which the man takes a copy of the book out of her hands, and also claims that it will be problematic if her power is revealed, so let her wait quietly because her time will come. The main character is shocked and wonders if he really saw everything, or if he already knew it. But then she realizes that it is not the time to look at guidebooks, and that she needs to run immediately. A book with her, and also understands that she is ready. She can create a lot, so there are not many things, but she decides to check again if everything is in place. Beautiful it is, but still does not understand why it was lying so neatly in her closet. At this time, the girl begins to hear someone's voice saying that she did this to her and the main character thinks what just happened and whether it was some kind of magic or just Lyra's memories. The girl also understands that it is better to take this with her, after which the young lady heads to the dungeon where Pian was held. But when she looks into the cage, she realizes that Meline has woken up, so of course this guy is not there. Then she asks where she can find him now. Well, then the young lady turns around and sees this guy. She says that his new outfit suits him very well, but wonders why he is still there. Pian replies that he thought that the girl would come there, and the main character pats him on the shoulders, and also says what a good boy he is. At this time, the guy suggests leaving there first, because he doesn't want to be there, to which the young lady agrees, and suggests going for a walk. When they are in the greenhouse, the girl asks if he will go with his mother to Kiran. Lyra also understands that in return, she destroyed the coolest pairing, but she still wants Pian to live on, so she needs to avoid meeting Helen. And the guy at this time asks if the girl wants to go with him, which surprises the young lady. Pian claims that it often snows in Chiron, so it is very beautiful there. And there are also many cute animals. And the people living in Chiron is very friendly, and she will definitely like it there. The main character wonders if this guy is trying to lure her, but he understands that if it is very beautiful, there it means it is cold all year round, and many cute animals mean that there are the same number of demons, and friendly residents mean that they do not like strangers. After which, the young lady thanks him for the invitation, but claims that she is forced to refuse because she is also leaving this place. The guy then asks where she is going, after which the young lady claims that she is going to the world of fairies. But the young man then tells her to at least say her name. Otherwise, the main character thinks that she's in deep trouble. If with the help of ordinary magic, they move using numbers, then dragons can simply say the name of the person to whom they want to move. And it turned out to be quite unbalanced on the part of the author in relation to the heroes, because they only have to know the name. When they answer their call, it serves as a kind of promise that they will always be glad to meet. And the problem is that this is how personal space disappears, and she doesn't mind telling him her name, but this can bring danger, and sometimes she can respond unconsciously, after which the girl thinks that she will never say anything, and asks why it is so important for him to know, because let him just call her a fairy. The guy replies that he has never called her that, and does not want to. And the main character replies that this is what she wants, after which the young man claims that he won't even be able to send letters, much less to the world of fairies. Lyra wonders if he will write her letters, and then claims that at one time he can send them to the room where his mother lived, and she will come and also take these letters. Is silent after this, but asks if she will come to him. The main character smiles after this, and he answers that yes, after which the young man says Alice's name. But when the main character doesn't react at all, he asks really not at all. And then he tries the name Anastasia and calls many more names. The girl understands that just a little more, and he will get it. After which the young man calls another one names, and the young lady thinks how persistent he is. A little while later, the girl comes to Noel's store. The worker thanks the lady for visiting their store, and also claims that the offered product is the soul of a sea witch brought from Atlantis. It has a shiny color, and in her thoughts, the woman adds that this thing is so expensive that no one buys it. But today, she will definitely sell it, because this girl looks like the kind who would buy it if she was forced to. The main character says that it is beautiful, but she already has a lot of jewelry, and the woman says that if she thinks that this jewelry is the same as the others, then she is deeply mistaken because it contains the memories of the sea witch. There is a magic on Atlantis that allows you to enclose sad feelings in a stone and thereby get rid of them. The sadder the memories, the brighter the stone glows. The main character then wonders why they call it a memory and not a soul, after which the woman says that they say that memories make up the soul, and that is probably why it is called that. Lyra understands that for her, as someone who was reborn in another world, these words have a deep meaning. And the woman claims that if the lady takes it today, she will give it back cheaper. She also names several other pieces of jewelry and claims that they are very beautiful, but the soul of the sea witch cannot compare to them. At this time, the main character hears someone playing the piano, after which she is surprised. The worker, noticing this, asks if this guy really plays well, and thanks to him, she gets in the mood to work. The previous pianist broke his leg and this guy came to replace him, but he is very popular with customers. The main character then says that this is how it is, and points to it, after which she claims that she will buy it. The woman then apologizes and claims that he is not their property, but if she wishes, she can recommend slave traders. Lyra asks what she is talking about, because she was talking about the piano, after which the woman asks if it is true, and she thought so, because they simply have special services for guests. And if she is interested in the piano, then she can show her the other musical instruments, after which the young lady claims that she will buy the soul of the sea witch, and a ruby from some mountain or other, and a blue tear too, and if there is something else that they want to sell, then let them do it. After all, she will buy everything. The woman then thinks how cool this girl is, after which she thanks the lady and claims that she will give her a piano, but the main character says that it is not worth it, and she will pay because it is a compensation system. The girl also holds out a chest of gold coins and asks if she can pay for it all at once, to which the woman replies, of course. And the main character claims that she will come to pick up the piano a little later, and the woman says yes, and they will also wait impatiently. Lyra then says goodbye to them, and a little while later, she is at Noel's mansion. The girl looks at the stone and realizes that it really is not just a jewel. She also realized that Lyra's magic is far from perfect, and let's say she cannot create something living and something that has magic in it. This is more about material things, because she can't create animals or magical objects either. She can only create what Lyra has seen with her own eyes, so she can't create backgrounds in computers either. But the girl thinks how much she wants to be on the phone. Well, she also thinks that if you have money, then almost everything can be solved both in life and in a book, because money plays an important role. At first, the girl spent the whole day creating money, because it can almost always be used, and basically everyone loves money. With it, you feel much more confident. However, strange rumors started to spread that some girl was walking around and spending money left and right. And as a result, strange people, such as swindlers, thieves, robbers, kidnappers, and pimps, began to look askance at her. She couldn't handle everything, so there weren't any particular problems, but it was extremely unpleasant. And problems will arise if rumors reach the imperial level. So it's time to wrap this up, and she's already tired of shopping. The girl then thinks that the night market will definitely open today, so she will go look and gather information. A little while later, the girl is already there, and one of the men approaches her and claims that they sell excellent books. And you can't buy this in regular stores, after which the young lady looks at this book and is surprised. After all, she sees a familiar whale there. After which the girl reads that this is a magical consciousness that illuminates the entire empire of Atlantis, and she thought that it was an ordinary whale. The man then asks in shock if she really knows the language of Atlantis, which makes the young lady a little surprised. And the man once again claims that this book was written in the language of Atlantis, and she read it all so easily. Lyra says that the letters are indeed different, and the man asks where she learned this language because none of the buyers could translate it, and it is such a rarity. The main character wonders if the ability to understand this language is really so valuable. But she shouldn't stand out anymore, after which the girl claims that no, and that these are just thoughts out loud. The man then asks if it is true, but he hoped to learn more about Marmel. His dream is to see Marmel with his own eyes. He cannot imagine how beautiful this creature is, but it is almost impossible to see it. At this time, the main character remembers how the woman said that she did it for her. At this time, in the Empire of Chiron at the training site, the guys are looking for Pion. One of them claims that the Resistance A is already about to begin classes and wonders where he is. Another guy claims that he thinks Piane just ran away out of fear. Many of his friends respond that you can't say that about a member of the imperial family because he could still be jailed. Well, then this guy asks if this weakling from Bariana is really a member of the imperial family. And after all, his 8-year-old brother will be much better than him. Then let him stay in Bariana, because they don't need such weaklings. And the guy asks if his friend thinks that Madame Madeleine is angry with him. Otherwise, why would she be so strict with her son? The other guy then tells his friend to stop already, because if someone hears, he will get into trouble. While the young man with red hair claims that in short, he is not there, so they can go and look elsewhere. But he is so lazy. After this, Pian thinks about something, but at that very moment, someone tells him that they found him. It turns out that it is the main character, and the girl asks how he is doing. The young man is shocked by this, and also screams, "What does she mean by long time no see? Since a whole year has passed." Since then, Lyra apologizes and claims that it is difficult to teleport to a place where you have not been, and in general, it is difficult to get into the Chiron. The guy claims that he sent letters to that room, and the young lady replies that the Duke decided to clean there, and he really didn't like that he and his mother went there. But let the guy better tell why he's slacking off, because those boys were looking for him. The young man replies that he is not slacking off, and that he simply does not like going to classes. But the girl understands that this is what slacking off means. She also asks why he doesn't like it so much, to which he replies that it's necessary to hurt a person until he defeats the teacher. The guy also says that his teacher is his mother, and she is the former commander of the knightly squad, Chiron. The main character realizes that a boss appears in the training, after which the young man claims that Chiron's people do not like to lose, but he does not understand. After all, he is used to beatings and loneliness, but he is afraid of disappointing his mother, and maybe the problem is that he is not Chiron's real man. And the guy also asks if he is a bad son, and that is why his mother treats him this way. The main character replies that in no case does he have any idea how much she values him, but the guy replies that he doesn't think so. And even in Bariana for his mother, her father came first, and she broke up with such a father, and he is just a burden for her. The main character understands that this is a difficult question, and she cannot say anything because she does not know enough about Quran, but she cannot close her eyes to it either. After which the girl takes the guy by the hand and claims that everyone gets disappointed if they continue to worry, and this is completely normal. The fact that he needs to defeat the teacher is the path to the goal, not the goal. And when he understands what he really wants, that will be the goal. And then he will work hard to defeat the teacher. The main character understands that this is how he became a first-class knight for Helen. After which the young man claims that he does not have what he would like to do, and the young lady tells him to find it, because there is no need to rush into it. And since he decided to take a walk, the girl suggests taking a walk. A little while later, they are already on a boat, and the girl understands that there is a pleasant wind blue sea, and the beat is just super. But for some reason, she feels sick. Pian then turns to the young lady and asks if she is okay, but the girl asks what he thinks. The young man asks if it is possible to remove seasickness with magic, to which the girl replies that it is possible, but after 10 seconds, she starts feeling sick again. The guy then says that it was necessary to use teleportation, but Lyra claims that she said that it is impossible to teleport to where you have not been, and if you try to do so, then you can end up in fire and underwater, because she already had such an experience. The guy then says that it was possible on a cart, but when the young lady is about to say something else, she can't stand it because she feels very bad. After this, the guy claims that things won't work this way and suggests that they take a rest first. When they land on the island, the main character immediately falls to the ground, and the young man asks if she is okay. The girl then only says that she loves the earth, and the young man sighs and tells her to go there. Pian places the young lady's head on his knee and claims that the ground is dirty and she will get dirty. Well, if she wants, she can lie on him, after which the young lady smiles and also says that he is so shy. And her favorite is not only cute, but also kind. The guy then tells her to listen, and there was no one near the ship, so how did it move? To which the young lady replies that with the help of magic, and you can indicate the direction after which it will start moving. Pian asks if such a thing is inexpensive, and the girl replies that it costs like 3 lakhs. But the price corresponds to the product, after which the young man claims that he understands why many people have recently become fixated on working with magic stones. The main character thinks that it is true, and that is why Helen tries. Lyra thinks that she doesn't care, because she has money, after which she also says that she has already felt better, and wonders what kind of island it is. But the guy replies that he doesn't know because it's not even on the map. But at that very moment, they hear someone screaming for this guy to be caught. Lyra says that it is immediately clear that there is someone there who is not from this island. Pian says yes. At this time, the guy runs away through the forest, and the men who are running after him scream at him to stop, after which one of them grabs the young man by his clothes and claims that he caught him. He curses and claims that the guy made them sweat, and also wonders if he thought he could escape from such a small island. because as soon as he goes out to sea, he will become food for fish. Lyra claims that he needs to be saved, but Pian tells her to wait because he might be a criminal. The girl whispers something that is true, after which the young man is hit, and then told to stand up, after which he picks the guy up and hits him again. The man then asks if he has done anything wrong, if he thinks that by playing the piano, he will return to the aristocrats. After all, a slave remains a slave. The young lady then remembers that this man was playing Noel, after which she claims that she can no longer watch it. The girl immediately gets up from her seat and addresses these bandits. One of them asks what kind of girl this is and who is her brought. After all, they didn't have it. The main character at this time is interested in what is happening, but then says that it doesn't matter. Anyway, let them quickly let him go, and it's better for this man to try to become a slave himself. The bandit then asks what she said, and let the little one watch her language. After all, now they will teach her some sense. But when a man is going to hit a young lady, the guy who was playing the piano grabs him by the leg and asks him not to touch them, because it was his own fault. One of the men then says that, of course, a defender has been found. After which the other turns his attention to these children and says that they look pretty good, and they can be sold for a lot of money. But before that, he then reaches out to the main character. But Pian fights her off and tells him not to dare. The man then asks what he just said and whether he really wants to fall into eternal sleep, after which she hits him on the head, and the main character seeing this screams, after which everyone asks him how dare he hit her favorite. The girl starts using her powers, after which she throws this bandit against a tree and he passes out. The other one then asks what happened, and the main character says that they are still there, so she completely forgot. Then she lifts these two into the air, and they scream, "What is she doing?" because she should let them go. One of them screams again for this witch to let them go. Well, the main character then wonders if they really want it that much, because if so, then she will let them go. Hey girl throws these two on the floor. The young man who played the piano thinks, who is this girl? Lyra turns to Pian and asks how he feels, to which the guy replies that he is safe, and asks how Lyra is. The girl replies that it's easy, and didn't he see how she removed this trash, so from now on he doesn't have to protect her. Pian only droops from this, and the main character turns to the musician and asks how he feels. The guy asks if she is talking about him, after which the young lady replies that yes, she saw him playing in the store. And he plays the piano so beautifully, after which the girl uses her magic and heals his wounds. The guy thanks her, and the main character also asks what they will do with the trash. The guy who is playing the piano wonders if she is really asking him, since the girl claims that he is a victim. The young man claims that he became a slave because of his family's debts and does not consider himself a victim, after which the main character screams for him to wait, and she says that he is a victim because he tried to escape but was caught. But after this, the young man only remains silent, and the main character thinks that this is a terrifying topic of slaves, after which she even says that she can't get used to it, and she knows that it is legal to have slaves there, but she doesn't think that it is right, because she personally would punish them. That's why the girl claims that she will ask again what the guy wants to do with them, remains silent after this, and then goes on to claim that they have ruined the lives of many people. At the very least, they exploited the children, and they put collars on them and made them their property. So how does the lady think what he wants to do with them? Because he wants them to fall into eternal sleep and torment. A little while later, these men are already waking up. Well, then they see that they are tied in fire. One of them screams, "What is this?" And the main character at this time is heading on a ship. The guy who played the piano says that they should at least feel the pain for all their sins. A little while later, evening comes, and Pian remembers how the young lady said that now he does not have to protect her. At this point, the pianist screams and asks why the girl is floating in the air, to which she replies that she is seasick and asks if he is hungry. The young man replies that he is fine, but due to past events, he forgot to introduce himself. So now he claims that his name is Philip and thanks him for saving him. Pian claims that his manner of speech is similar to that of an aristocrat, and Philip replies that it was 5 years ago, but today he has neither money nor family and is a slave with no future. And by the way, he doesn't know the lady's name, so he's wondering if she can tell him, and Pian is surprised to hear this and expects the girl to say her name, but the main character only smirks at the lady's words and claims that she is not from such a family. And if you look at it that way, he's older, so he shouldn't bother. But then the guy wonders what he should call the girl. Lyra is about to say her name when she turns to Pion and sees how impatiently he is waiting. She only says that she has no name because she is a fairy. The girl also understands that just a little bit more, and it would be the end of everything. Philip then asks if this is true, and then the fairy states that he is sincerely grateful for the rescue. Lyra understands that this guy doesn't have the same reaction as those two, after which she also tells him not to pay attention. After all, she did what was necessary, not the young man who claims that only a fairy can say such a thing. The girl claims that perhaps it is strange for the locals to save slaves, but where she lived it was accepted. They are all people, so why should they deprive anyone of their rights? Pian then asks what happened, because it suddenly became so light. And when the main character looks overboard, she is surprised. She also grabs the guys by the hand and tells them to quickly go there and take a look. After all, underneath them is the aurora of the sea that is Marmel. The main character also says how beautiful it is because it's like the sky is under their feet. The girl also wonders if the guy knew that seeing her was a 1 in a million chance, so they were lucky. At this time, the guy claims that if they are lucky at such a moment, then God is unfair. Hepburn territory, where the Rolance ruled, they did not have a sufficiently trained army to resist them, and my father gave the castle as collateral. He also hired people, but it was all useless, after which he decided to ask the county for help. In response, they simply prayed for victory every day and painted pictures in the temple, but did not send anyone to help. And every day, they had more and more victims, and eventually, his father fell into eternal sleep. Only after this did the county begin to send them knights, and the robbers, seeing them, immediately fled. Pian asks if the behavior of that count, and in general, the fact that the robbers from the sea attacked those on land, isn't strange. Philip replies that he thought the same, but what was more important was that everything was over without even suspecting that this was only the beginning. County of Girion. They announced that it was the father who had brought the bandits upon himself, and in one moment, Rolance became a traitor. The main character then asks what it is, and what about the trial, to which the guy replies that of course there was one. However, the father was no longer alive, and his confidants were put into eternal sleep by the robbers. Rolance could do nothing, and all family members became slaves, after which the guy asks if she understands now. After all, if he had been lucky, then all this would not have happened, and he would not have had to endure such an attitude towards himself. But the main character says that even if he doesn't answer, he's still lucky because he met a fairy. The girl who will fulfill all his wishes also claims that she will fulfill any 3 wishes. And besides reviving those who have fallen into eternal sleep, she will do anything. The guy then clenches his fists and asks why and for what purpose she goes so far. The girl replies that she has no reason, because she just wanted to help him, and wonders if this is really not possible. But the guy replies that it is impossible for all this to happen without a good reason. But the main character claims that he lived all these days in slavery for no reason, so why shouldn't something good happen for no reason? Like today, the young man then asks if she gives him 3 wishes, to which the girl replies that yes, and the guy claims that the first thing he wants is a bank, where he can use 1 million gold. Lyra asks if he wants a bank and not money, after which the guy asks if it is difficult, to which the girl replies that no, it will just take her time, but it is doable. The main character asks, what about the second one? After which the young man claims that he wants to return the mountains taken away by the county of Girion. Pian wonders if these are the same mountains, Hepburn's Son magical stones, to which the guy replies that everything is correct. And the young man then claims that there are many magical animals there, and it is difficult to dig anything, so why does he need these mountains? Philip replies that there is something there that is not in other mountains, and the main thing is to find an approach and application for everything. The main character looking at these two thinks why she feels such tension. The girl also says that she understood and decided on the second wish, after which she also asks what the gesture is last. The guy replies that he wants the girl to save his partner, named Rosalind. Pian asks if he is talking about a partner, and does this mean that he has a girlfriend? But Philippe is interested in what kind of girlfriends slaves can have. Partners of this system, in which slaves work in a group of 2 people, and if one does something wrong, the second will be responsible for him. Their lives depend on each other, and they are connected, so the main character is interested. Did he really run away, leaving his partner behind? To which the guy screams that no, and he will explain everything now. One of them had a girl approach Philip and claim that she had stolen it, and that it was a magic stone that was used for teleportation, and that they would be able to escape. But the guy then claimed that they wouldn't just leave them like that, and if they used this stone, it would be even more dangerous. Therefore, he suggested waiting until another chance came. But after that, the girl screamed that another chance would come too late. After all, if not now, then she will be sent to the bedroom of Count Girion. And Philip understands that she cannot leave him, so he suggests running away together. And so they escaped, but they used the stone without knowing how to do it correctly. So they missed her, and he was thrown onto this island. The main character says that it's good, and she will destroy the slave trader, to which the guy responds, which he would really like, but it would be very problematic, because as long as he has rights to them, these collars will not be removed from them. And this means that the brand of slaves will be on them for the rest of their lives. And then the girl claims that she will buy all the slaves and free them. But the guy replies that it's not that simple. After all, if you sell them, new ones will come in their place, and consider it an endless system. As a result, the number of suffering people will be many times greater. Lyra says that then they will leave it for later, and in the meantime, they will deal with his partner. And the girl asks where to find her to, which the guy replies that if she was caught, then there is a high probability that she is now in Hepburn. The main character then says okay, and they head there. The girl also turns to Pian and asks her where this place is, to which he replies that it is to the southeast of Noel, and offers to take the helm himself. But Lyra answers that he can't. Philip Batov looks at the girl for a while and understands that she has incredible strength and also an angelic appearance, incomprehensible behavior, and she also said that she was a fairy, and even a fool would understand that it was a lie. So the guy wonders if he is seeing a dream. At this time, the main character turns to Philip and asks if he is okay with bare legs, to which he replies that yes, the lady cured them. But Lyra claims that she is not talking about this, and conjures boots, and also claims that this is a bonus. The guy wonders if there really is a person who treats slaves so well. And also, can he believe this? But the guy thinks that it doesn't matter who this girl was, a witch or an angel. And even if this is just a dream, he does not want to give up this happiness. And now, thanks the girl. A little while later, they are already looking at this cave, and the main character asks if it is really there, because the security is somehow weak. Philip replies that most likely there are people here, and Pian says that there are a lot of people inside. After all, he smells different smells, and the main character thinks that this is what dragons smell like. At this time, Philip turns to the fairy and asks her to try not to fall into slavery, because there is a high probability that people are mixed there. The main character replies that she understands, and she herself does not want to stand out, after which she conjures up some kind of scent. The guards of this cave sense it, and immediately fall to the floor, and the main character claims that it is a sleeping powder and wind magic. At this time, Philip takes the keys from the floor and suggests hurrying up, after which they go inside, and the guy claims that it is there. The main character looks at all the people in the cages and then says, how many of them are there? At this time, they also see a lady with blonde hair who screams at Philip that she is there. The guy immediately approaches Rosalind and says how good it is that she is whole, and the girl asks how he is. Pian claims that he doesn't want to interfere with their joyful reunion, but they have to go after, which the guy says yes. And he thinks that he understands that now everyone is in a bad situation, but he cannot save them all. There are fewer demands on slaves there, and almost all of them are sent to other countries. A few more months must pass before they come for them again, after which the young man asks to listen without loud shouting and claims that now he will open the lock and take his partner. Everyone will want to escape if the locks are opened, and he has no right to stop them. At this time, one of the slaves asks if he will let them out, and if they will be able to escape. But the guy at this time asks not to run away and stay inside, after which one of the slaves screams what he said, and will he really take only his partner? But the young man wonders where they are going to go if they run away, and whether it is the sea where there are robbers, or the mountains, where there are demons, or whether they think they can mix with people. But as long as they have this on their necks, they will not become free, and in order to not return there again, the root of this entire system must be removed. But then one of the slaves tells the guy not to make him laugh, and says that this brat doesn't understand anything. After all, it will be they who will later be to blame for their departure, to which he replies that he understands this perfectly well. But for slave traders, slaves are valuable goods, and they should not hurt them too much. But Rosalina is his partner, and she was caught after she tried to escape, so she will definitely not be forgiven for this. He also understands their feelings, because he himself is a slave. But nothing will change if he just runs away and if they believe in him. Then he will definitely get them all out of there. Well, then another slave grabs Rosalind, and he screams, "Is the guy really making fun of them? How can they trust him?" Philip is surprised, and the slave claims that if the guy wants to take this girl, then let him take him with him. Otherwise, he won't let her go. At this time, several more people arrive on the island, and one of them asks if his colleague hasn't had dinner and what he eats. The other one replies that he will be on shift until the morning, and he will be hungry. Pian says that Philip should hurry up because these people are coming, and this slave claims that if the guy does not want his partner to be put into eternal sleep. But at that very moment, another man hits him on the head and asks whose he is, because these people better watch him. The man also turns to the boy and asks if he has a plan, to which he replies that he can't tell them about it now. He wants to save them all, but he can't trust any of them, and yet the man insists that he can only leave them with promises. The guy then doesn't even know what to answer, and the man says that, okay, he can be understood, after which he holds out the girl and tells him to take her. At this time, Pian notices that the people who arrived on the island already saw that those guards were sleeping, after which he says that they are already there, so they need to go. But Philip asks them to wait, after which he opens the cage and says that it is ready. At this time, one of the slave traders asks how long the guards have been singing and tells them to give them the keys. Well, when one of them looks at the place where the keys should be, he screams in shock that they are not there. Another slave trader asks if he is serious now and shouts at him to quickly call for help because they have strangers, and also let them close the exit. Pian screams that they noticed, and Rosalind claims that she is scared. The main character claims that she wants to immediately take everyone out and not worry, but there was no persuasion without an attack. Then she extends her hand to the lady with the blonde hair and tells her to take it, and Philip will take her shoulder. The girl also grabs Pian and tells everyone to hold on to her tighter, after which she starts using magic and teleports. When the slavers enter the cave, one of them screams, "Who is there?" Well, he sees that there are only slaves there. Another guard screams that he found the keys, and the man tells them to search everywhere to see if there is the one who hid. One of the slaves asks the other if it was magic. Well, he answers that yes. However, he has never heard of a magician who could teleport 4 people at the same time. The main character is teleported to the ship at this time. The lady with the blonde hair immediately falls to the floor. Philip immediately runs up to her and asks if she is okay, to which the girl with tears in her eyes replies that she thought she would not return from there alive. The guy tells her that everything is fine now, but Pian claims that it looks like more time is needed, to which the main character replies that yes, after which she also turns to the guy and asks if he needs to go back, because Madame Madeleine will be worried. But when the guy doesn't answer, the main character asks what's going on, after which he perplexed asserts that he didn't tell anyone anything, and the main character screams, "Is he serious?" At this time, the servants of the mansion scream, trying to find the master. One of them wonders where he went and whether he was kidnapped. These two, being in the bushes, understand that there was such a commotion there. Another man was watching all this from the window. He says that they made too much noise there because of one lost animal, and his mother is so worried. One of the servants replies that it is natural, and he is from the royal family, and also if he awakens as a dragon, he will be a threat to Mr. Paris. But at that very moment, the man grabs the servant by the neck and presses him against the wall, and also wonders who will be a threat to whom. The servant then asks for forgiveness and claims that it was impolite on his part, after which the dragon throws him and says, "Okay." He also looks at the two who are in the bushes. Pian asks the girl what he should do. She says that when it gets quieter, he should come back immediately. The brunette wonders if this kid really brought a girl with him, and that's interesting. At this time, the servants turn to the mistress and say that there is no trace of the guy, because they searched everything around, and most likely he is not on their territory. The woman then claims that they are acting on a large scale, and let the servants go to the border, and also detain all suspicious people, and she will inform His Majesty. The main character is shocked after this, and thinks that this is too big, and says that it would be better for the guy to go out now, to which he agrees. After which, he rises from the bushes and turns to his mother. The woman then asks in shock where he has been all this time and what kind of a sight it is. But when the young man turns to the main character, he shows that he will not say a word about her, after which the guy claims that he fell asleep at lunchtime and only recently woke up. The woman at this time calls for services and says that they can go. And when they leave, she gives it all away. The main character is shocked when she slaps her son in the face, even realizes that he is a member of the royal family and how he is not ashamed to do such a thing. The guy apologizes, but the woman insists that he skipped classes today, so he should stop behaving like that. And didn't she say how important sword skill is to Curon? To which the guy replies yes, and the woman claims that if he doesn't want to so much he can leave. And in return, she won't let him go anywhere without security. The young man then says that it's not worth it, and the woman claims that he can't even stand up for himself, and that all that remains is to protect him, like in childhood. When the woman leaves, the main character turns to Pian and asks how he is. But his mother treated him strictly, and she really has the character of a warrior and mentor. Well, let the guy not forget that she does this because she worries about him. Pian takes the young lady by the hand and says that she always asks if he is okay. The main character then asks if it is true, but she claims that he can easily get hurt, so she does it. The young man then says that this is how. He also apologizes, but wonders if Lyra could leave, because he would like to talk to his mother. The main character then agrees, and the guy also extends his little finger and tells her to promise that she will come to him. The main character then makes him a pinky promise and says goodbye to the guy, after which the young man starts running to his mother and realizes that he is glad that the girl is showing concern for him, but she will always treat him like a child. And now he thinks that it is annoying. But Philip's words that nothing can be changed if you constantly run away are true, so he shouldn't run away from problems. After which the young man runs up to his mother and cries out, addressing her. He asks for forgiveness for behaving inappropriately for a member of the royal family. And he also didn't think about the consequences and doesn't want to be a child who constantly needs to be protected, so he will never run away again. And he asks his mother to take over his training. The woman is surprised by this, but then smiles, and he tells him to start by running 100 times around the training ground. The young man asks if it's possible right now, to which the woman replies that it is, and asks if he doesn't want to. The guy replies that he understands. The main character watching all this understands that it's good that everything ends well, but when she goes further, she hits someone, and when she opens her eyes, then she sees a man in front of her. She realizes that he has dark hair, like pitch, and gray eyes. There is always a scary atmosphere around him, and he always and everywhere looks attractive. That is why he is one of the characters of the Work Dragon and Empire, namely the Black Dragon, Paris. The guy at this time only grins and greets the bunny. He also asks if she will tell him her name. The main character is surprised by this, and she thinks that not even a minute has passed since we met, and he immediately asks for her name. So she can only run away, and the girl immediately teleports. The guy then clicks his tongue in displeasure, and also says that she is definitely a hare with her speed. The girl at this time returns home and understands that it was dangerous, but she is so tired that she wants a bath. The main character also understands that today she will add lavender flowers. Well, at that very moment, she feels a strong pain in her chest and wonders what it is because her heart suddenly stabbed, or it seemed to her. A short time later, they go to Hepburn's outlet, and the man claims that this is the main office, so they can do whatever they want. Well, he is also interested in whether such a place would really suit them. On his part, he is only grateful, however, to build a new bank on the site of the old destroyed bank. Philip interrupts him and claims that there would be no problem answering if he knew the old owner, after which the man claims that he was a good person and he could not imagine that everything would happen like this, after which he says that then they can make a contract. When they do this, the girl claims that they should start by cleaning, because even magic won't help there, after which they all start cleaning up. And the main character says that there are so many documents there, loan statements there, and also wonders if there aren't too many of them. She reads all these names and realizes that she has heard the name Rolance somewhere before. The guy then takes this paper and says that this is also left 5 years ago. His father took out a loan to hire knights. The main character at this time says that this is how it is, but she thinks that the guy is quite close. But if you look at it this way, he is also a handsome man, he is tall, and he himself is also tall and looks just like a model. The young man claims that the previous owner of the bank did not really understand this business, which is why he gave his father such a huge sum. And this is the result of this misconduct. So now his heart is even heavy. At this time, Rosalind also approaches them and claims that she has finished cleaning. Lyra says that's how it is and thanks her for her work, after which he states that now it's her turn. Rosalind claims that they were searching while cleaning, but they still didn't find anything, after which the main character says no problem. After all, she only needs space and the rest is on her. The girl begins to conjure money and jewelry, after which she fills the entire room. She also turns to the guy and asks if there will be 1 million gold. Rosalind says that there is definitely more, and there is so much money. At this time, Philip says that with such a quantity, the monetary value will decrease. At this time, the main character turns to Philip and asks what is going on, to which the guy replies that it's okay. It was his request. The main character then says that in the end, as she promised, she will provide him with a document confirming that the guy is the owner of the Hepburn Mountains son of magical stones. Philip asks when she managed to do this, and the girl replies that at first she thought about buying it, but then she simply stole it. The guy asks if it's too dangerous, but the main character replies that everything is fine, because they did it in the name of justice. After which the main character claims that Rosalina, the return of the mountains with magic stones, as well as a bank with gold worth 1 million. All his wishes are fulfilled, after which she wonders what he will do next. And will he also figure out the trade in slaves? Because if he has a plan, then let him lay it out, because she wants to participate. Philip claims that first, he will force the slave traders to buy mountains with magic stones, but the main character wonders why. Philip replies that it is so that they have an additional burden, and these mountains are very expensive, and the money of the slave traders is slavery. They will have no choice but to borrow money, and he will lend them the money at low interest rates, but of course he will take collateral. For example, the keys to 1,000 slaves. The main character claims that this is a good idea, but wonders if they will decide to do this, after which the guy claims that he thinks they will want to get these mountains. Lately, aristocrats have increasingly avoided buying slaves, and ordinary citizens can even buy them since slaves are quite expensive. Thus, the need for them among people gradually decreases, and of course abroad, it is still customary to have slaves. However, there are many who do not survive the ship journey due to illness, lack of water, and many other reasons. Traders waste a lot of money to feed slaves, and if they use mountains with magic stones, they will have an incredible advantage in money. They will be able to use slaves to mine treasure, and the main character says that this is how. In this way, they will have a greater opportunity than to cover the costs of slaves. Philip replies that yes, and therefore he is sure that they will definitely want to buy it, because this is the only mountain with magical stones, and in Berrien that has not yet been used. Lyra wonders if they didn't say that there are a lot of monsters there, and it will be difficult to dig. Rosalind wonders if the slaves will be able to then, to which the main character replies that yes, and the guy claims that this is why he wants the slave traders to buy the mountains. After all, he realized this when he fought the bandits 5 years ago. Monsters don't attack bandits. The main character then goes into shock, and Rosalind assumes that it might be because they look scary. The guy then replies that no, and he thinks that they have some kind of agreement or some other reasons. But in any case, the fact that monsters do not attack bandits will be very useful to them, because most slave traders are bandits or former bandits, and they can easily be mistaken for one of their own. This means that monsters will not attack during the work. Rosalind wonders if there really is such a way, and the main character thinks that there is. After all, Helen used this item, and she didn't think that Philip would use exactly this. And the girl wonders if this plan is too clever. People with light hair at this time claim that she does not really understand. After all, you don't have to bother with it, and you can buy them all out and free them, and she can deal with the slave traders with the help of magic. While the guy claims that this won't work, after which the girls ask why, Philip claims that he believes that the fairy has great potential and that she could easily handle it. But sometimes there are things that make no sense if they are not the ones doing it themselves. So the fairy can only watch them, and soon she will see an interesting article in the newspaper. A little while later, the main character is already sitting in Pian's room and reading a newspaper. It says that the freed slaves raised a ruckus, and the slave trade organization in Hepburn fell apart. The girl claims that this is definitely Philip's work, but only 2 months have passed since the bank was created. Pian claims that he took the keys of the slaves as collateral freed them, and this is the result. The main character understands that it is natural that the slave traders could not resist thousands of enraged slaves, but someone would still get hurt. And maybe she should have figured it out herself. Pian then asks if the girl wants to become their leader, which surprises her a little. But she claims that in no case is she the kind of person who could stand at the head, and she shouldn't stand out. The guy then says that it's not all over for the slaves, because they still need to survive. Even if the girl gave them freedom, it's not a fact that they would be able to live like ordinary people. First of all, they need to adapt to a different way of life, and they need to work. And he points to one place and claims that it suits them perfectly. This is Mount Hepburn with magical stones. The monsters that interfered with the excavations have disappeared, and there is a huge amount of wealth there. The main character understands that this is why he chose this place, and the guy claims that there is something else that they will need, and asks if she remembers when they went to save his partner. The main character replies that yes, and understands that if he really wanted to save only his partner, he would have freed all the slaves on the spot and raised a ruckus. However, he asked them to wait until he prepared everything, that is, the guy planned to save everyone from the very beginning. Pian argues that such people need an excellent leader, and he is just right for this role. The main character then says that this is how it is, and the guy claims that especially now, information has spread, that freed slaves are dangerous creatures. And lately, aristocrats have been taking fewer and fewer slaves. This means that they are practically not needed in fulfilling their purpose. And Pian is thinking, where did he think of all this, because everything is going according to his plan? The main character says how cool he is, but Pian claims that all this will not last long. It is true that now they put a lot of emphasis on the extraction of magical properties, but this is just material, and these stones themselves do not bring any benefit. Magic into these stones, but only the Kiran Empire does this. As a result, only Kiran will be able to buy the stones. And the thing is that the person in charge of all this is famous for his immorality. He is not sure that he can deal with the old merchant with only his brains on his shoulders, because most likely Philip will fail there. The main character then claims that she didn't know that the guy was good at this, but he claims that they just go through this in class, and doesn't say the main games that he's a good guy. He's trying. The girl also claims that he has become taller, and his body has become stronger. Well, the young man is only embarrassed by this, and claims that it is because he is training. Lyra thinks that she is so glad that everything is fine with him now, but he has grown from a boy into a young man. The girl also thinks when he will grow up and become like in the book, so handsome and kind, and will love only one. Therefore, the main character hopes that at least everything will be like this. But then Pian is the main character. So who is she? The guy at this time claims that he will soon start training, and if he comes late, a hellish night awaits him. The main character then wishes him good luck, and when the guy comes out, she tells her to come back for something else, and replies that she already understood and let him go. The girl also thinks why she suddenly became so sad, and she is unconscious about the fact that the gap between the main characters and the secondary ones is quite large, after which she thinks that it is worth going to visit Philip. But when the girl enters the office, the lady with the blonde hair claims that Philip is not there now, because he is there less often now, and is always busy. The main character then says that this is how it is, and the girl claims that today he went to meet a merchant from Kiran. A little while later, the girl is already at the auction, and one man claims that he says that entry is prohibited without a special invitation, but the main character claims that she has money, and it's enough even for the VIP zone. Well, the security guard claims that he said no, so no, and he will have problems if he lets the girl in, so either she comes with an invitation or with someone who has one. The main character then thinks what to do. And is it really worth waiting until all this is over, or just finding another entrance? Well, at that very moment, someone screams that she does have an invitation, but the man says that she has no money. So how can he let her in? The girl screams that she just came to look. Well, this man pushes her and tells her to stop talking nonsense and get out of there. The girl falls to the floor, and several magic stones fall out of her purse. The guard tells her to sit there with the peaceful one, and will she take responsibility if they find out that he allowed her to enter, after which he closes the door. And the girl just swears, after which the main character comes up to her and helps her pick up the magic stones that fell out of her wallet. Lyra also asks if she has an invitation, because she has money, but no invitation, and she offers to go together. Well, then the girl asks how much money the lady has. Lyra answers that it is enough, and the girl after that extends her hand and says about 1 gold, and also asks if the lady is going to sit in her usual place, if she has so much money, and she will seat her on the terrace. The main character then hands her 1 gold coin, and the woman looks at her and tells her to follow hers. A little while later, the main character wonders if she really is her. She didn't deceive, and they find themselves on the terrace. Lyra, he says that it is just like an opera house, and the woman replies that it is an opera house, and usually large auctions are held there. The main character says that this is how it is, after which she starts wondering where Philip is, and maybe he is now with the merchant from Cairond. At this time, the guy notices the young lady and wonders if this is a fairy. At this time, one of the wards asks, "What is it?" And did the guy really see someone he knew, and he was going to answer something? But then he also comes onto the terrace and apologizes for being late, but also claims that he is a rather busy person. Philip replies that everything is fine because he understands that a person and his position are rarely free. The man then says that the guy is good, although he is still young, and today he most likely came to him with a proposal, so let him post it faster. The main character is on the terrace at this time and looks at everything, but her interlocutor suggests that she should not behave like that, looking at everything and everyone. Lyra thinks that this girl is being clever, and then she will respond to her in kind, after which she claims that she came there to look for one person, and if her interlocutor drinks, then maybe she should go to a bar. The woman replies that she is only killing boredom, because the most interesting part will be at the end. Well, then the main character takes her glass, and the woman asks what she is doing. The girl tells her to pay at least for this, and asks if she knows the head of the trading organization Kiryun. The woman is surprised by this and asks why I wonder, but the young lady replies that she will not tell the reason. The lady with red hair then says that she doesn't know what the girl's goal is, but she better not get involved with their main one. After all, he doesn't just love money. He's serious about it, believes that money is power, and he will do anything for money. He will even sell his daughter, who has dedicated her entire life to trade. The main character claims that she speaks as if she knows him very well, and the girl replies that of course. After all, she is that very daughter. The main character is surprised after this. At this time, the head of the trading organization, Chiron, examines the stone and says that the thing is really not bad. Well, he throws it back to the guy and says he won't take it. The guy wonders if he didn't like it because he thinks his offer is much better than other sellers with magic stones, to which the man replies that this is true. But it doesn't matter whether it's cheaper or more expensive, because only one trading organization Chiron is engaged in processing. Philip asks if he thinks he will be alone in this field for eternity. Well, the man replies that the guy is young and therefore doesn't know, but he has never missed anything that could bring in money. And if it slipped from his hands, he destroyed it even better. But at this time, someone cries out with gratitude for such a long wait. After which the auctioneer states that it is finally time for the last item. This is the treasure of Atlantis from the Sea Fairies Magic Circle diagram. The head of the trading organization claims that this is what he was waiting for. The man also states that he will focus on the auction, and the guy can go. And he will also say in advance, whatever he tells him, he won't buy stones from him. Well, if he's ready to sell mountains, he'll think about it. After this, Philip just leaves, and when he walks down the corridor, he hits the wall, and also claims that he offered him almost everything and he wants more. His colleague asks what the guy will do, to which he replies that he cannot sell him the mountains, because they are a place where people work. But if the mountains are in their hands, then it is unknown what will happen to the former slaves, and he does not want to act so rashly. His protege says that he agrees, because it's immediately obvious what he's capable of. And then Philip claims that there is only one way left, because they need to start processing the stones themselves. The lady with red hair at this time claims that this is the diagram of the Sea Fairies Magic Circle, but the main character wonders what is so special about it, after which the woman screams, does she really not know the scheme of the Sea Fairies Magic Circle? And is she really primitive because it is such a treasure? This book is the dream of everyone who has dedicated themselves to making magic stones, to which the main character replies that she does not know. Well, and then he gets a little surprised and asks if she made the magic stones. The girl replies that yes, and she is not a simple master, but a special one, of which there are only 10 people in this world. She makes the best magic stones. The main character thinks that she doesn't understand at all, but it seems that she is really good at this. Well, the woman takes off the glove from her hand and shows the scars, and also claims that it is all in the past. Lyra understands that these are all wounds, but this is definitely not an accident, after which the girl thinks who did this and why. The lady with red hair claims that she did say that this is the kind of person who would even sell his own daughter, and now he wants to get all the mountains with magic crystals on the continent. So he sends her to the only mountains in the Kingdom of Gloria. The offer seems to be beneficial for both parties, and the father would get the mountains. And the Kingdom of Gloria has a master of making magic stones, from whom they would learn this craft. However, her father did not want to give them the art, after which the girl claims that the production of magic stones is a delicate and painstaking work. But with such a shaking hand, it is impossible to make it. The main character then says that it turns out that the Kingdom of Gloria was deceived, and the girl replies that, roughly speaking, her father is sending her as a concubine. And therefore, even if she cannot make stones, this will not be a violation of the contract. She has no idea how they will treat her there, but her father is not the kind of person who cares about this kind of thing. The girl then drinks a glass of wine, and then says that she always thought so. That if she becomes an excellent master of making stones and earns money, then her father will recognize her. So she tried her best to become the best in her field. But I forgot something important. After all, there are many ways to use it, and it doesn't matter what the price is. Everything is decided by the person who has the money, but she didn't understand this and ruined her life. Now the girl asks if it's really a pity, but she wanted to look at this book at least once. After all, it's something like a dream. The main character asks if the girl really wants this book, and she answers that it's impossible. After which, Lyra claims that she will buy this book for her, and in return, the girl will be hers. The lady with red hair is a little surprised by this, and the main character claims that it sounded too ambiguous. She also claims that she means to negotiate since she is a master of making stones. But the woman then asks if she really didn't hear her, because that's impossible. At this time, the host suggests starting the auction, and the bids start from 1,000 gold coins. The lady with the red hair claims that this starts, after which the stakes increase and rise to 1,900. Lyra asks if she should just raise her hand, Boston, which the girl does. The head of the trading organization, Kieran, wonders who this girl is, but then he sees his daughter next to her. Ellie asks what the girl is doing, and the main character replies that she wants to buy it for her, after which the man gets angry and raises his hand. The main character at this time asks if she can always keep her hand raised, but the lady is only interested in what she is doing, after which she tells the girl to lower her hand. But Lyra asks why, after which she waves her hand at everyone, and also asks if it is possible to do this. The lady with red hair screams that it is impossible. The presenter at this time claims that the bet has been doubled, and now the amount is 4,600. Ellie asks if the girl is really an idiot and to quickly lower her hand. But the main character wonders if it means that if you wave your hand, the amount will double. She also claims that everything is fine because there is not even 5,000 and nothing to worry about. But the woman screams that it is not about money, after which the man asks several more times whether anyone will bet 4,700, and if not, then the scheme of the Sea Fairy's magic circle is taken by the lady from the second floor. The main character is happy after this, and the host says that this is where they end today's auction, and thanks everyone for participating. A little while later, the main character is already holding this book in her hands, and wondering if there is some kind of magic sealed there too. Ellie suggests that the girl go faster, because if they get caught, they're done for. But the main character asks why she is so scared, after which the girl replies that it is because she does not know anything. After all, her father gave in, not because he didn't have money, but because he thought it would be cheaper to put her into eternal sleep. The man at this time claims that it is not bad, and that is how it is. Ellie asks if this is really the father, and covers the young lady with her body. A little while later, they are already sitting at the table, and the lady with red hair claims that this child does not understand anything. After all, she didn't even know that you can double the bet by waving your hand. The main character claims that it was not a mistake, but the girl immediately screams at her to keep quiet. The man claims that as far as he can see, the girl really knows nothing, after which he suggests ending it. He hands her a ticket for 3,000 gold coins, and if she doesn't want to fall into eternal sleep, then she should quickly take the ticket and give her the book. Well then, Lyra, She says that her grandfather got something mixed up because she paid 4,600 for this book, and he really can't count if he wants to buy it for 3,000. The man claims that 3,000 gold coins is the appropriate price for the product, so no fool would buy something at a price higher than its cost price. The main character says that if he really wanted to, he would have put her into eternal sleep long ago. And does he really think she is an idiot? After which, the man gives a final warning and offers her to give the book for 3,000 gold coins. Otherwise, he will take her life. The main character then picks up the book and asks if he wants it to, which the man replies that he does, and that she should give him the book quickly. But the girl at that very moment throws it into the fireplace and claims that the book slipped from her hand. The man screams what she has done and orders to quickly pull out this book, but the main character says that not so soon. After which he begins to use magic, and metal pipes fall from the sky. At that moment, the man finds himself locked up, and the main character claims that she doesn't really understand. Well, if she bought a book for 4,600, then she can sell it for at least the same price. But why does he decide everything himself? And about this girl too, is she really worth one mountain? Therefore, let him not make her laugh, because that can't be. The main character also tells her to leave her nasty dad, and offers to cooperate with her, because she will take care of her. Well, the lady with red hair is wondering if she has any value at all at the moment, because she is worth even less than one mountain of magic crystals with such a hand. The main character places her hand on hers, and claims that she determines her own worth. The price that her father gave her means nothing, after which the girl claims that she understood and agreed. Lyra claims that this is an excellent solution, but at the same moment, the girl's father screams at her to wait and stop talking nonsense. After all, Ellie is already being sent to the Kingdom of Gloria. Lyra claims that yes, and she knows about it. But let him listen, that if he wants something, then let him achieve it somehow on his own, without selling his daughter. Well, the man then says that he only found her a partner as a father, after which the main character says that he really did it as a father. After which he takes off the glove from the lady with red hair, and asks what it is in his opinion. The man then smirks and asks if the girl will really cooperate with her, even under such conditions. He also wonders what Ellie is thinking and what she can do with such hands, smiles after this, and also tells her father not to worry, because she will take care of herself, and let him also take care of himself. After which the two teleport and Rosalind asks the fairy if something happened. The main character says that yes, and there is something, but then she suddenly feels her heart pricking and wonders if she imagined it. The lady with the blonde hair wonders if the girl went after Philip, after which she also asks who this girl is. The lady with red hair at this time claims that she will never agree to teleportation again. The main character then claims that this little sister is a master in making magic stones, but the lady then tells the girl to wait, because she said that with such hands, she is not capable of anything, so she will simply help as much as she can. But the main character claims that she is still more suitable for the role of a master, after which she also tells the girl to give her hands, and then use magic on them. All the scars immediately disappear, and the lady with red hair is shocked. Lyra claims that she tried so hard. So it would be a shame to spend the rest of my life with hands like that. The lady with red hair wonders how the girl did it, and Lyra offers to show her father that she is worth more, after which the girl claims that her father always said that money shows a person's abilities. Therefore, in a few years, Ellie's trading organization will surpass Chiron's trading organization. And to tell the truth, she is more capable than her father, Lyra and Rosalind, then say what a cool sister she is. And the girl claims that her name is Ellie, and since they are going to work together, they need to at least know each other's names, after which she asks what the girl's name is. The main character replies that, in fact, she will not be dealing with her, because this guy's name is Philip, so she definitely needs to know her name. But then the girl asks what to call her, and when the main character doesn't know what to answer. Then Rosalind says that a fairy is a fairy, so she suggests calling her that because she is a fairy after all. Ellie is shocked and asks if she is a fairy, and she can't see it. Lyra. She claims that she understands everything perfectly well, and therefore asks not to look at her like that. And the woman says, okay, let it be so, because she also healed her hand. But she still wants to know more about the terms of the contract, and she thought that she would work with her, and not with some Philip. And the girl is interested in who he is. The main character replies that, to be honest, she herself can't tell what he is like, but she will tell her the circumstances. Rosalind suggests discussing everything over a cup of tea. A little while later, the lady with the red hair says that yes, she heard that the slave traders bought the Hepburn Mountains with magic crystals, but she didn't think that such things were behind it. And it was the county of Guiron, and also they stained the family of Rolance. The main character says that, yes, she wonders if the girl knows about it, to which she replies that of course they are cooperating with the trading organization Katzron, and the matter is with salt, after which the girl claims that she has come up with something interesting, because in Bariana it is forbidden to make salt, and also to sell it. After all, if they catch you, they'll execute you. The main character wonders if they really execute you there because of salt, although having slaves is completely legal. The girl claims that in Chiron, it doesn't come to such absurdity, but as punishment, they pay a fine or are prohibited from working on the territory of Barian. However, the county of Girion is different. Rosalind at this time asks if it is really possible, and the main character wonders if this means that they will take revenge for the same thing. The lady with red hair claims that she will clap for evidence, but they will get it, and let the girl tell her what to do with that book, since she burned it. The main character then takes out this book and claims that it is there, but the woman screams, "Why?" To which the lady replies that she burned another book and simply replaced it with a similar one. The lady with red hair then says that it is amazing because she would never have thought that she would hold this book in her hand. Well, when she opens it, she claims that she can't read anything and also wonders what language it is. Lyra asks if she was really so crazy about this book, but didn't even know what language it was in. The art of making stones has belonged to mermaids since ancient times, and this book has always been considered a treasure, into the hands of few people, and only they know about the existence of the book. The main character thinks whether she is talking about mermaids, and also tells the girl to give her this book. When the lady opens it, she says that everything is as she thought, because it is the language of Atlantis. Ellie asks if she can really read what is written there, and the main character claims that on the first page, it is indicated that you can gain power if you really want it. Well then, the main character sees in front of her someone who says that he loves her very much. The girl then goes into shock and then faints. Two girls immediately rise from their seats and scream for the fairy to hold on. The young lady at this time thinks that she is in a lot of pain, and her whole body is heavy, but then she thinks why this is so. When the lady opens her eyes, she hears someone saying that an inspection needs to be carried out, and wonders what kind of place this is. The doctor at this time claims that to begin with, the lady knows what her daughter has eaten in recent days. The woman replies that she doesn't even know about the man telling her to listen, because her daughter is in a very bad conditions, after which the woman tells him to do as he knows. Hey, this is all so annoying that I wish this girl would quickly fall into eternal sleep. At this time, the main character closes her eyes and thinks that, in fact, she is tired of all this, after which she opens her eyes in shock and gets up from her bed and also thinks, where is she, and wasn't she in the hospital? The girl looks at herself in the mirror and realizes that she has purple eyes and that platinum-colored hair again, so she wonders whether the hospital was with sleep or whether the sleep is what is happening now. At this time, someone turns to Mr. Pian and says that he did a great job, after which the guy thanks him. But when he enters the room, he is surprised because he sees the main character there. He wonders what she is doing, and even without light. Lyra says that he is the real Pian. Boris asks if there really is a fake one, to which the girl replies that no, and she is just glad to see him. After which the young man leans towards her and asks what happened. Lyra replies that she had a dream, after which the guy asks what kind of dream it was, and the lady replies that it was an ordinary dream, where she simply ate alone and lazed around alone, and where she simply suffered in solitude, as if it's something completely normal, and it's just a normal dream. Well, the guy then puts his hand on her cheek and tells the girl not to cry. Lyra asks what he's talking about and claims that she's not crying. Pian claims that it's hard for her alone, after which the main character puts her hand on his and says that it feels so warm. And the guy is really real, that's why she's so happy. The young man is only embarrassed by this, after which he turns away and says yes. At this time, his mother passes by and watches all this, smiles, and closes the door. The main character wonders if the guy really trained until late today, to which he replies that yes, it was a hellish night training. A little while later, the lady with red hair says that she is right there, after which the main character asks how she is feeling. Lyra also claims that she used too much magic that day, and Ellie claims that it looks like that because they called a doctor, but he said that she was just sleeping. The main character also asks how the girl is doing, to which she replies that, since she doesn't understand the language I tried to repeat from the pictures, and there are things that she can do, and also things that she can't. But in the end, nothing worked out for her, and the woman asks how the lady is and thinks what the problem is. The main character claims that it was written that you can gain power if you really want it. And maybe that's true. Well, the lady wonders if there is anyone else who wants this power more than her. Well, then the main character wonders what the matter is. She also thinks how unfortunate it is, and since the girl tried it, maybe it's worth activating. After which, the main character uses her power, but says that she has a slightly strange feeling. The lady with the red hair claims that she saw this on this page and is interested in what is written there. Lyra claims that this is the magic of creation, which shocks the girl, after which she tells the lady to give her this stone. She also tries to really want it, and the stone comes into action, after which a handful of gold coins appears on the table. Well, after this, the stone cracks, and the lady with red hair says that this means this is the limit. 12 gold coins are not enough, so they need at least 1,000. Otherwise, there will be no point. The main character says that you can still create something that has a value of 100 gold coins. The woman then suggests trying different methods and points to one of the lines and tells the girl to read it. Lyra claims that this is healing, and the lady with red hair is shocked. The main character wonders why she is so surprised, because she can heal too. But the woman claims that creation and healing are not usually used with magic stones, and only in the Barian Empire can they be used. Well then, Ellie suddenly goes silent. The main character asks what it is, and her interlocutor replies that it's nothing. And she doesn't care if it can become money. So in short, they will make a powerful discovery, and this is a chance to earn big money. And if the fairy will be paired with her. But the main character wonders why her. After which, the woman claims that she just told the girl that she felt something. And it seems that in order to activate these stones, magic is needed, and they have a huge amount of it. They'll be great partners, won't they? Answers yes. After which, the girl hands the stone to Lyra, and he says that he gives it to her because she can use it for her own purposes. While the main character claims that she can heal as much as she wants anyway. Ellie claims that she does and others do not, so let her give this stone to her loved one. At this time, Pian is on the battlefield, after which he throws one of the guys away. The judge then calls for a stop and states that the outcome of the battle against 4 is determined. Pian emerged victorious. The boy's mother smiles at one of the losers after this claims that it is still Jean's. But this guy is still, he gives after all 1 beat 4. Someone else says, what kind of nostalgia is this? But he remembers how he once ran away from training. At this time, someone else comes up to Pian's mother and says that his brother is trying. It turns out it's Paris. And he also tells the woman to look at him so sternly, and also suggests relaxing because she is his teacher. And when he becomes emperor, even if she doesn't want to, she will have to respect him. The woman understands that her nephew is so stupid, and she doesn't like him, but she'd better not quarrel. After which, the guy smiles and says that he would like to wrestle with her son. Surprised by this, and the brunette asks if he can do something and answers yes. A little while later, the two are already standing opposite each other, and the judge states that they will fight to the bitter end. However, if one of them drops the weapon and surrenders, the fight will end. The man standing next to Pian's mother asks if the lady is sure, because he understands that the gentleman has grown up in these few months, but he will not be able to cope with Paris, who has awakened the dragon within himself. The woman says that of course it is dangerous. However, Paris will not allow himself to be humiliated in front of the public. Then the man asks why the lady allowed them to fight, and the woman replies that this is something that Pian would have encountered sooner or later. Paris just wants to assert himself at the expense of Pian, and also at the same time use it for your own purposes. So it is better for the guy to go through this lesson now, rather than later. The referee raises his hand and says, "The fight has begun." Paris turns to his brother and tells him to attack. Pian understands that he is standing in such an open pose, but he cannot get close to him and thinks what to do. At this time, Price claims that if he is not going to, he will go first, after which the man attacks him and kicks him in the stomach. He lifts the guy by the hair and asks if that's all. If not, then let him get up. He also claims that his brother is good-looking until he gets annoyed and then slams his face into the floor. And also says how sad that, except for his face, nothing shines. But at least I liked that he doesn't let go of the weapon. And also, it seems to hurt him. After which, Paris stands on this guy's hand and says that maybe the brat won't be so stubborn, and he will simply give up. But then he also says that if he gives up, he will be too ashamed to look into that girl's face. After all, this girl with platinum hair and purple eyes is like a bunny. The guy then says that he will put his brother into eternal sleep. Paris asks what he just said. And Pian claims that if his brother touches this girl, he will no longer be alive. Everyone seeing this comes into shock, after which the guy turns into a dragon. Paris only smiles after this and realizes that his brother has awakened the dragon within himself. One of the servants claims that he could not even imagine that this would happen so soon. And the woman understands that she wanted to show that he is still far from the title of emperor. But everything turned out completely the opposite, so she is speechless. And her head begins to hurt at the thought that now, a fight for the place of the ruler will begin. But perhaps it is for the best that now Paris will not especially belittle Pian. But the problem is different. A little while later, the main character teleports to Pian's room. She looks around and wonders if the guy hasn't come yet. But he always came back after training, all tired and covered in various ailments. So this stone will do him good. Well, at that very moment, someone says that the lady is there and claims that they haven't seen each other for a long time. The main character turns around and sees Madame Madeleine there, and also says that this is Pian's room. The brunette replies that she was aware that the lady visits her son from time to time, and today she has news. To begin with, she asks to be allowed to thank her, because thanks to her, they were saved by their son, and there are no words to express her gratitude. The main character then asks what she is, because for her happiness, Piana is her happiness. The girl wonders what happened because she is so scared, and the woman claims that if she needs anything, then let the lady contact her, and they will gladly return the debt. Lyra replies that she copes mainly with the help of magic, so everything is fine. The woman then says that she remembers that the girl is a great master of magic and wonders if she can ask her something. The main character answers yes, after which the woman asks if she wants to become Pian's other half. Lyra then becomes embarrassed and asks what she is talking about, and the woman replies that yes, and whether she wants to. The main character says that it's not that, and she just didn't expect such a question. The girl also thinks that in reality she is already an adult, and Pian is not. So she claims that she is in shock and finds it difficult to answer. The woman then says that this is how, and then says that the lady should never meet with him again for his own good. The main character is surprised by this and asks why and whether she did something wrong. The woman then asks not to misunderstand her because she did not say that the problem is in the lady, and on the contrary, she wants them to be in a close relationship with him. However, today the boy awakened the dragon in himself. Lyra asks if this is really true and understands that this usually happens after coming of age. The woman claims that of course she wanted Pian's power to awaken, but his dragon seal is many times stronger than hers. And of course the side effects from it too, after which the woman sighs, and also wonders if the lady noticed that he has feelings for her. The main character remembers those blue eyes always directed at her, and thinks that maybe the guy is acting a little childishly, but he always chooses kind words, and his warm hand touching her as something dear. Therefore it is natural that one cannot deny the fact that he is not indifferent to her. And the girl claims that she knows, after which the woman claims that she understands that the lady is staring at them. However, she cannot claim that it is forever, and she is not even talking about feelings. After all, the lady can disappear into another world at any moment, like a fairy. The main character then wonders if she will really disappear, and if that is really true. The brunette claims that she is well aware that they owe her a great deal. However, she worries more about her son's condition after unrequited love, because if she experienced it so badly, Pian can also fall into eternal sleep. The main character is shocked after this, but he claims that this can happen to anyone, and then wouldn't it be dangerous for him to be in a couple at all? The woman claims that the imperial family of Chiron is not attached to social status. However, usually the representatives of the royal family of Chiron, who awaken the dragon in themselves, choose as their partners those who have Chiron genes. If they connect their seals, their feelings will never be destroyed. But even if the red liquid Quran does not flow in the partner, there are many ways to leave the connection. Thus, the awakened dragon is given many privileges, including strength and military power. However, the lady has power and money, so nothing will guarantee that she will stay with him for life. And the woman also kneels and asks that before Pian's feelings become stronger, then let the lady not appear before his eyes, because that's all she wanted to say. A little while later, the main character finds herself in her room and realizes that she has returned and nothing can happen to her in response anymore. Her sad eyes are constantly before his eyes, and he knows that a dragon will wake up in him. The girl wonders why she didn't do anything earlier, although she could have assumed that everything would work out with him. After all, everyone's dream is to flirt with their favorite hero. But Lyra understands that when she first met him, he was a child, and she thought of him more as a younger brother than as a partner. And even if she imagines him as an adult, no one else comes to mind next to him except Helen. After which the girl screams that she herself does not understand what she wants. And wasn't it too cruel for Madame Madeleine to say not to meet with him? And of course, she understands her feelings. But still, what does it mean that she can disappear at any moment? And does she really give them money that suddenly disappears one day? At this time, someone he also turns to the fairy, and the girl screams, "Who said fairy?" It turns out it's Philip, and he's wondering why the girl is so angry about something. He replies that it's nothing like that, and understands that she can't tell him. Lyra claims that they haven't seen each other for a long time with Philip, and she is glad to meet him, after which the guy apologizes and claims that he was too busy with business matters. By the way, he saw her at the auction, because then the lady came for him too, which the girl replies that yes, she wanted to see him as soon as she read the article in the newspaper, and also thought to congratulate him personally. The guy then replies with a smile on his face that he is very happy, and the main character thinks that her heart is healing. At this time, Philip is wondering how about having dinner together, and wondering what the fairy's favorite food is. Well, the main character tells him to listen, because of course she asked for it herself. But could he not call her a fairy when they are alone? Because she was already embarrassed, but today she is absolutely not in the mood to be called that. The guy then says that's how it is and asks what he should call the lady then. The main character thinks what name to tell him, and whether it is worth telling him the real name or the local one, after which she finally says her name in this world, and tells him to call her that, after which the guy does so. And the main character claims that this is a secret for the others, and the guy is interested. Do other people know? To which the girl replies that yes, and that under no circumstances should Pian know her name. Philip then addresses her by name again, and says that he understands the main character, then suggests that they go eat. And she also claims that she wants meat, to which the guy replies that he will prepare it right now. At this time, the lady with the blonde hair is outside the window, and the main character looks at the stone a little later, and she realizes that she forgot to give it to Pian. But still, Lyra realizes that if she returns, she will likely encounter Madame Madeleine again. So the girl thinks that maybe she should give it to Philip. At this time, Rosalind approaches the fairy lady and asks if he can talk to her. A little while later, the two are already sitting at the table. The main character asks if the girl wants to build a school, to which she replies that yes, there are many among the former slaves who cannot read and write. This causes problems when drawing up documents and various contracts, and it is also a necessary thing to continue living in society. That's why she thinks that basic knowledge can make their lives much easier. Lyra claims that this is a great idea and asks if the girl will be a teacher, to which she replies that she is not a scientist, but she and Philip were taught writing and mathematics, so they can be useful. The blonde lady claims that she is always grateful to the fairy, and that Philip always tried to help others. But he always complained that he didn't have enough strength for this, so she thanks the lady. The main character then says that there is no need to thank her like that, but the girl claims that there is no need, and that the lady is indeed a good person. After which, Rosalind claims that she has another request, and the girl asks if she can also call the lady Lyra. The main character is surprised by this, and then asks how the girl knows her name, to which she replies that she accidentally overheard their conversation with Philip. She also asks if she can, to which the main character replies that of course she can, but when there are strangers, she should abstain. Lyra understands that the main thing is that Pian doesn't find out her name, and the blonde then says, "That's how it is." But then she claims that in fact, she was worried that the lady loved Philip. Since she only told him about her name, the main character is surprised, and the girl claims that having been convinced of the opposite, she calmed down. After all, she always loved him. The main character Datova is surprised and asks if Philip does too. But Rosalind replies that no, and the feelings are only on her part, so she tries to become worthy of his attention and suitable for him as a partner. The main character then says that this is how it is, but then she thinks what kind of unpleasant feeling she has. Rosalind at this time asks if the lady is going to do this, and the main character asks what she is talking about. The blonde claims that the lady is a magnificent sorceress and will choose the right one for herself. After all, it doesn't look very nice to such simple people as they do. Lyra thinks she understood, and in fact, Rosaline is trying to create distance between her and Philip. A little while later, the lady with red hair approaches the main character, but she understands that she thought that she and Rosalind were getting along, and of course there are moments when she looks at him. But wouldn't that happen to every girl if he showed her kindness? At this point, Ellie screams out, whether the girl can hear her at all. The main character then asks what is going on. After which, the lady with red hair, almost crying, says that this stone broke and asks what happened to the girl. Lyra then apologizes, and Ellie asks what's wrong with her since she's not herself. The main character asks if her interlocutor has a loved one, to which she replies that she loves everyone. Lyra is surprised and claims that she did not expect this. The girl claims that anyone can be used for money, after which she also asks why the girl is asking and whether something happened to her beloved. Lyra! She replies that if she hadn't answered, she wouldn't have even suspected that she had been listed as a rival. The lady with red hair at this time says that this is why she advises children not to do nonsense. After all, money is more important. The main character then says that she shouldn't have asked the girl about it at all. Lyra sighs and realizes that she was in shock when she heard these words from Rosalina. She can be understood because she would also be wary if the person she always liked was closer to another. But the main character thinks that Madame Madeleine and Rosaline, why did they both blame everything on her? And what is she guilty of? But at that very moment, the stone under the girl's hands cracks. At this time in the castle of the Barian Empire, one of the servants says how boring it is, and his colleague replies that yes, it has become quieter since the princess disappeared. His interlocutor replies that indeed, Her Majesty's mood has become much better. Then one of the guards says that this princess is nothing but trouble and that she should never come back. Well then, someone. He also turns to the guards and asks if they were getting too carried away with their conversation during their service. When the two men turn around, they see Princess Helen there, and the girl wonders why they are standing there because they should quickly tell the emperor what they agree to. After which, one of them informs His Highness that the first Princess Helen de Bariana wishes to meet with him. The man then tells her to come in, and when the girl enters the room, she thanks him for accepting her. The emperor then asks what her business is, to which she claims that she has a request, and asks if he could send her to the northern part, where plant-growing work is being carried out. But the man wonders why she asks him if he will do it his way anyway, to which the girl replies that with his permission, there will be privileges. But the man wonders what will happen if he does not allow it, after which the girl claims that she will take a roundabout route. Then the emperor sighs and claims that she understands perfectly well the reason why he will not allow her. The girl then asks if he thinks she will come back, since she personally does not expect this. After all this, girl is not such an idiot that she doesn't understand what will happen to her if she returns. The man then sighs and takes out his watch, and looking at it, he realizes that she is alive and well. After which, he also wishes for his daughter Lyra to have good dreams. A little while later, the girl falls asleep. But then he finds himself in some room and thinks that this is definitely a dream, because whales are hovering in the air. Then she also notices some child and realizes that she is a little scared. It looks like a horror movie, but she still thinks that it's worth talking, after which the girl turns to the child and asks why he's crying. But the child wonders who the little sister is, to which she replies that she is a fairy. But then she realizes that this has already become a habit for her, after which she claims that her name is Lyra. Well, the child then claims that this is her name, which surprises the main character. But the girl claims that she shouldn't be there, and her place is in the hospital. The main character then opens her eyes and sees doctors and IVs next to her. At this time, Philip is in his office, and Rosalind comes up to him and also claims that she made tea and he can rest. The guy just nods after this, and the girl gets angry and claims that they will have a break. So if he continues, he will collapse from exhaustion. But Philip then says that he still has a lot to do. Rosalind claims that Hepburn's slave trade organization is completely destroyed and the mountains are in his hands. He also made an agreement with a master to make magic stones, so the girl wonders where he is in such a hurry. The guy then claims that even if Hepburn's organization is destroyed, this does not mean that the slave system has completely disappeared, and that we need to act on a larger scale, and for this we need force. And to have it, you need to make a lot of effort, so he doesn't have time to rest. The blonde then becomes depressed and wonders why he is going so far. And also, is it really Lyra? But at that very moment, a lady with red hair bursts into the room and screams that the situation is an emergency. A little while later, they come to the main character's room, and Ellie claims that she came to wake her up because it was already lunchtime, and she still hadn't entered the workshop, but she doesn't wake up. Rosalind at this time says that maybe she is just sleeping like before, and the lady with red hair answers that if she doesn't answer, now everything is different, and she shook her, but she doesn't wake up. At this time, Philip claims that this is indeed strange, after which he turns to Rosalind and tells her to call a doctor, to which the girl replies that she understands. The guy also turns to Ellie and asks if she has recently made stones with healing powers, to which the girl replies that yes, and Philip claims that he will cover the costs of this, so let her bring everything. The woman then says that they definitely can be useful, so she immediately runs away and claims that she will bring them right now. After which Philip turns to Lady Lyra, but then notices that tears are appearing in her eyes, and the young man immediately gets excited and cries out to her and asks her to wake up. The main character then opens her eyes and the guy asks if Lady Lyra is okay. The main character asks if it is Philip, after which the guy replies that yes, and it is him. Lyra immediately hugs him and cries out that she was able to return Philip, then asks Lady Lyra in surprise what happened. Well, the main character only cries after that. At this time, the lady with red hair returns to the room and claims that she brought the stones, but then she also asks if the girl has really woken up, and he wonders why they are hugging the guy, then tries to say something. Well, the main character just jumps on Ellie and screams her name. The girl then asks what happened to hers. A little while later, the main character is already sitting barely alive, and Ellie asks how they should understand this, since she hasn't been sleeping all this time. But she still claims that it is not surprising after that incident. At this time, Philip turns to the fairy and claims that this tea helps to fall asleep, and if it doesn't work, she can ask the doctor to bring a sleeping pill. The main character at this time asks Philip if he has really forgotten who she is, and creates a sleeping pill with the help of magic. The guy then says that it is true, but if it is hard for her, he asks her to tell him. After all, he may not be useful, but at least he will be nearby. The main character then addresses Philip with emotion, but at the same moment, the lady with the blonde hair claims that they too. Rosalind says that Ellie and she too will always be there, and there is that man who was with her when she came to save her. The main character then asks if she is talking about Piana. The lady with the blonde hair claims that she doesn't know his name, but most likely, Lyra understands that a lot of time has passed since their last meeting, and she also remembers how the guy asked her to promise that she would come back, so she thinks that he is hers is waiting. At this moment, the young man falls on the bed and thinks when the girl will come. Well, at that very moment, he hears someone's voice. It turns out that it is the main character, and she is wondering how he is, which makes the guy surprised and wonders what she has been doing all this time. Lyra apologizes and claims that she had a lot to think about, after which she congratulates the guy. After all, he became stronger, and she heard that he awakened the power of the dragon in himself. The guy then asks how she knows, to which the young lady replies that, isn't it natural since she is a great fairy? But the guy then says that he really did think to surprise her. The main character then hands him the stone and says that it is a gift. It's a healing magic stone, and it doesn't give eternal life, but she thinks that this stone will be useful to him. The young man then thanks the lady, and she turns to Pian and affirms that the young man wishes him only happiness. Then he wonders why she suddenly does this, and the girl insists that she wants him to always eat healthy and tasty food, and also look at everything beautiful. Training is good, of course, but let him not forget about rest, And also let him be surrounded only by good people. Falling in love is also possible, but let him be careful with a girl who has short golden hair and green eyes. Well, the young man then screams in shock for her to wait and asks what she's been saying, because the girl speaks as if she's saying goodbye forever. After which, the main character becomes a little depressed, but still turns to Pion and tells him not to wait for her anymore. The guy then in shock asks why and what is happening and also why she is doing this. Lyra claims that she saw a dream, but then realizes that it was more likely reality. Lyra's body, she was in a dream for half a day, but in reality, for a whole week. One day, someone told the girl to smile, at least because they were taking pictures. Well then, someone said that maybe it was worth leaving her thing. What difference does it make? To what else he answered that he agreed. After which, these two took pictures, and one of them claimed that everyone insisted that they visit, so they came. But the girl looks healthy. After which, one of them turns to the girl and says that she is pretending, and maybe she is thinking of saving money on this. After which, one of them screams, "Why is she on the phone all this time?" and let her not ignore them. But his friend then suggests that they go, and the guy then asks why they came at all. The main character at this time almost cried and thought why she came back, and whether it was because she had already saved the main character, and also because she had used the power as she wanted, and because she had run away from her family. Or maybe it was all just her fantasy. The girl also thought that it was impossible, and she wanted to go back. And she also asked to be returned to that world. Every day she cried and prayed for his return. And finally it happened. So after that, she became afraid to fall asleep. Lyra pinched her hand so that she wouldn't want to sleep, and the girl wondered where sleep was, at the hospital or in this room. But both worlds are too realistic, and maybe she moves through two worlds. The girl also thinks, what is the condition for getting into these worlds? And she drew conclusions, realizing that the current her cannot control this process without knowing anything, and there is no point if they are not there. And especially what will happen to Pian Brother's boyfriend asks Time what kind of dream it is and whether she is going somewhere. And the girl then replies that she was given a message to return to the world of fairies. Her burden screams that she is lying because she always justifies herself with this when she does not know what to answer. Lyra turns around and says that if he doesn't want to, then he doesn't have to believe it. But even then, he will change for her, because she won't come there anymore. But the young man then grabs the lady by the hand and tells her to take him with her, because he will go with her wherever she goes. The main character then tells him not to be capricious, and asks what will happen to Madame Madeleine. The guy after that claims that he understands that she doesn't need him, but he doesn't want her to leave. The main character then suggests making a deal. After all, when he becomes happy, she will come to him. The guy then asks what it means when he becomes happy, and the young lady claims that they will meet then. If he can find happiness, then he will no longer be attached to her, and will connect his fate with a person who is worthy of it, and perhaps even forget her. So now the main character asks if he agrees. Well, the guy claims that she is asking for the impossible. She won't be there, after which the girl claims that a person is a creature that can forget everything, and let him try too. The young man then tells her not to think, that he will always wait for her, to which the girl replies that she knows, after which she says goodbye to him. But when she teleports, the guy claims that if she doesn't come to him, then he will definitely come to her. From that moment, 5 years passed, and one man was walking in the snow, after which he falls. He wonders if he will die like that. Well, then someone else comes up to him and asks if it's that uncle again, after which the girl heals him and also tells him to wake up. And she wonders if he's alive. A little while later, the main character pours him a cappuccino, and also claims that this is why she told him to use magic teleportation stones. But he claims that he cannot spend such expensive stones on this movement, and for them who are used to such a distance, it is not a problem at all to get there themselves. At this time, the lady with red hair says that they haven't seen Noah for a long time. The main character wonders if Ellie worked all night again, to which she replies that yes, and teaching others the art of making magic stones fulfilling, and sending a bunch of orders. And also this time, they gave her a special order, so she doesn't have time to sleep. Noah then claims that this way the girl will get to heaven faster than him, but he is only interested in how things are going for Noah. The guy replies that he received an order to make healing stones, and at first he was scared, but it turned out very well, and the Berrien family liked it. And also with Ellie's approach, only the best masters are born, and yet her works are a great success because they sell very well. It was also a great idea to introduce her own engraving sign on the stone, because a stone with her image of a rose can be sold to anyone, and for as much as you want. The woman then says that this is the basics of doing business, and the rich always want something special, after which she also says that the guy came because of an order. And this time, the order is for His Majesty, the Chiron Empire. The main character at this time thinks about His Majesty Chiron, and he remembers the guy with black hair. Noah at this time asks what kind of magic it is, and the woman replies that this is magic, with the help of which the ring gives out clothes when he is naked. And they do turn into a dragon. So while they are in this form, they have no clothes on. And when they turn back into people, it is problematic. And also, in order to maintain the privacy of individuals. The main character then thinks that Pian also turns into a dragon, and this guy ordered the ring only for himself. And this idiot constantly walks around half naked, but is embarrassed by his bottom, and then she herself will protect Pian. After which, the girl turns to the lady with red hair and tells her to do the same for her. Elijah asks why, and she doesn't need it. Lyra, she replies that she doesn't need it, but the other one does, after which the woman says that maybe she has a boyfriend, but the main character just tells her to make this ring already. The lady with red hair then says yes, and she will do it when she has time. Noah then claims that he will probably go, and the woman says that he definitely will, and also let him keep the documents and be careful when he returns. And let him not dare to lose the ring, Vitya it is worth 12 like him. After which the guy claims that he understood. The main character asks if she should walk him to Hepburn, after which the man asks, is she sure and can she go there? The main character then says that it's not that she can't. She also understands that 4.5 years ago, she broke off all ties with Pian, and after this time, he came to Philip and asked where she was. Philip then asked what the guy was talking about, but he replied that he was talking about her fairy savior, and asked again where she was. The guy then thought that he didn't understand what was going on, but it was better not to say where she was, after which he decided to pretend that he didn't know, and claimed that in fact he didn't know, and that he wasn't in such a relationship with her, that he would know her whereabouts. Pian then said that it was like this, and Philip then sighed and understood that they had just seen her a few days ago, after which he claimed that this girl was very busy. But after that, Pian grabbed the guy by the shirt and claimed that the smell remained. And since he doesn't want to answer him nicely, so be it, after which he named Philip's first and last name. Some magical symbols appeared on the guy's neck. Pian claimed that this is the dragon's covenant, and he answered his call, so as long as he doesn't try to harm him, they will be friends, and he will not touch him, and also he must greet him every time he appears. But then Philip asks how he did it so quickly, after which the guy offers Philip to be friends, which shocks him. After this, Pian began to visit him constantly, and began to visit her, so she also began to keep her distance from Philip, and thus now she rarely visits Hepburn. Of course she is worried, but the letter said that Pian had never come for a year, so it probably wouldn't be a big deal if she dropped in to see them. The main character then turns to Ellie and claims that she went too, which the woman agrees, and then the main character teleports. After this, Ellie decides to go to bed, but suddenly hears someone knocking on the door, and thinks that if it was a stranger, he would have fallen into a trap, and besides Noah, no one comes to them. After which, the lady opens the door and asks, who is there? Well, when she sees a man in a robe, she is surprised. The main character at this time is already in another place. Noah claims that magic is indeed convenient, but at that moment, the girl is pierced by a strong pain in her chest. The man immediately screams, what is it? And an order fly, after which she answers that she has something sharp heart pity, but the man claims that this is a problem. Lyra. He claims that everything is really fine because the doctor said he didn't see anything terrible, but the man then tells the lady not to overexert herself, and he will go take the cart and let her sit there quietly. Lyra claims that it wasn't worth it, but Noah replies that it is impossible because she must obey adults. A little while later, they are already riding in a carriage, and the main character claims that she thought it would be a magnificent carriage. The man replies that the main thing is that there is transport, after which the main character says what a greedy man he is. Well then, the girl thinks that maybe it's even better this way. At this time, the guy asks how she likes the city and whether it's true that it has just changed, to which the girl replies that yes, and there are more people. after which she asks when he managed to become like that. Noah replies that significant changes became noticeable about 2 years ago, but the main premise was an event 3 years ago. The main character wonders what this event was 3 years ago, and the man asks if the lady knows that Philip has become a baron, and the main character says that she definitely does. And of course she remembers, because that time she helped him arrange the business with Salt. Noah says yes, and Philip used this evidence and also blackmailed the Count. The Count, of course, did not want to part with life, so he quickly fulfilled Philip's conditions. The Count then claimed that he was wrong, and that Rolance was not a traitor at all. Of course, the Count got what he deserved, but it was still better than being executed. The main character thinks that selling salt is an execution, but enslaving people is bypassed by the law, and she does not see any logic in it at all. The man claims that since then, there have been more people on the territory of Rolance, and the people who could not withstand further pressure from the Count all fled to Rolance to seek refuge from the dictator. Philippe warmly welcomed them and gave them work and housing. Usually such situations cause discord between territories, but the Count, who had no choice, could do nothing. Thus his power and territory fell apart. And now everyone lives there happily. The main character claims that this means that Philip is a good manager, to which the man replies that of course, in the southern part, now practically without working life in the city, is flourishing as never before. The children are playing, and he has never seen a child in despair. And it's all thanks to Philip. After this, and realizes that she has a feeling that she is also being praised, and it is good that she saved him. Then, well, at that very moment, these two hear someone scream. When the main character turns around, she sees a big wolf and asks what it is. Noah claims that this is an unusual wolf because it is a demon, after which he curses him, and also claims that this time he did not take a magic stone to deal with such. He also asks if the lady can help, to which she replies that she would be happy to, but he is too big to use wind magic, and if she makes the wrong move, the residents could get hurt. Therefore, it is necessary for him to stop. However, when the wolf is about to run up to another guy, he only raises his hand, after which the wolf suddenly stops. The main character understands that this is her chance, after which she raises the boulder into the sky and immediately throws it at the wolf. The residents are surprised at this time and ask whether the stone really flew from the sky and whether this is God's punishment. One of the men turns to the guy who was almost beaten by the wolf and asks if Leon is okay, and the woman claims that the boy was literally a hair's breadth away from falling into eternal sleep. Someone else asks if this wolf is no longer alive, and someone else answers that, of course, because a stone of that size fell on him. The young man with blue hair, at this time, looks at the main character, after which he smiles. Lyra at the same moment suggests to go from there quickly, from which Noah is a little surprised. He also claims that it is strange that the demon stopped so abruptly, and the main character understands that it was not of his will, because that guy with blue hair did it. He is the most unpredictable character of all in the work of the Dragon and the Empire. This is the Blue Dragon, Daniel Destoria. The main character also wonders why he is there, and she has a bad feeling from this look. A little while later, Noah claims that they have arrived, and the main character at this time says, what a nice house they moved into. Noah claims that the guy was given this villa as collateral, but the main character wonders if it is possible to live in this house like that, to which the man replies, why not answer? Anyway, the guy will eventually become its owner. Usually he is good, but when he needs to become simply unbearable, he is a master at this, and now there are many who fall for his tricks. Lyra then says that she is even scared, and the man claims that basically everyone who thinks of dealing with his bank is just an inexperienced fool. Noah also claims that he will go into the warehouse and let the girl go forward, to which she agrees. A little while later, the lady knocks on Philip's office door and says that they haven't seen each other for a long time. The guy is surprised after this and wonders why she is coming in from the window and what she is doing there anyway, because she should not be there. However, the main character says that instead of a joyful meeting, he will scold her. And before he was nicer, after which the guy is a little surprised and also inhales and claims that of course he is glad. After all, they haven't seen Lady Lyra for a long time. Well, Philip still claims that it's very risky because what if the lady crosses paths with this guy? The main character tells the guy not to worry because even if they cross paths, nothing will happen to her. Philip also says that, of course, he won't raise his hands against her. The movie can be tied to a contract because he always appears unexpectedly, and as soon as he forgets about him, this guy is right there. And now he has a phobia of people with silver hair and blue eyes. The main character thinks how good it is that she didn't tell this guy her name, but she also claims that he hasn't been around for a while, to which the guy replies that he hasn't been around for a year. Well, he doesn't think that he gave up searching and most likely found another way. The main character is a little downcast after this. But then he also turns to Lady Lyra and says that it turns out she is there. The main character then asks in shock if this is really Rosalina. The girl answers that yes, and says that they haven't seen each other for a long time, but she found out from Noah that the lady had returned and immediately ran over. But the fairy is still just as charming. The main character then says that Rosalina has become a beauty and asks if she can call her Lady Rosalina. The girl then smiles and thanks, but claims that she thinks it is because she eats well, unlike when she was a slave. The main character then thinks that she also eats well, and the blonde then asks if the lady wants to have dinner together today, because there are many delicious places there. Lyra immediately says that she will go, but Philip screams at her to wait, because it is too dangerous, and he can watch. Rosalind wonders if Philip has already forgotten how strong Lady Lyra is. But the guy claims that even that is not possible, after which he claims that he will order food from any establishment so they will eat at home. A little while later, the main character asks if the school has really become so big. The blonde replies that yes, and at first she only taught math and reading, but after thinking about the future of her children, she decided to develop this direction, and now they have 18 of them. The main character says how great it is, and Rosalina has a whole academy. The blonde then says that it's all thanks to the children who continued to go. But Philip says that she is wrong because she sat and worked at night, thinking over the curriculum, and during the day, she looked after the teachers and took care of the children, so not everyone can do this, and she should be more proud of herself. Is embarrassed by this and says that it's enough because she's embarrassed, but the guy asks if this is something to be embarrassed about. The main character understands that in her absence, they have become closer, and for Rosalina, this is an advantage. So the main character says that the two of them are right for each other. However, Philip claims that they are not in such a relationship, after which the main character says, okay, well the guy claims that it is true. Rosalind at this time turns to Lady Lyra and also says that she has a request. The main character is interested in what it is, and the blonde claims that she wants graduates to take over the management of the trading company, Rolance. Well, Lyra asks if there are not many of them. The girl replies that yes, but they are led by people from other countries. In the South, an aristocratic family has taken over several companies, so she asks if the lady thinks that this is too much. So she taught the children everything that would be needed in the trade, and she herself also learned a lot. The main character thinks that, well, and from the outside this girl looks weak, but inside she has a strong spirit. Still, people shouldn't be judged by their appearance. However, the blonde claims that they have knowledge, but no experience. So she wanted them to at least go on excursions to other trading companies and tried to achieve this with money. Many refused. The main character understands that, as far as she remembers, this man was really like that, and everything in the matter with the magic stones was the same. The blonde at this time says that she wanted Lady Lyra. However, Philip interrupts her and claims that it is impossible. Rosalind claims that she has not said anything yet, but the guy replies that she will still ask for something dangerous. The lady with the blonde hair answers that, no, because she just wants Lady Lyra to bring an accounting book from another company, but the guy claims that it is quite dangerous, and she understands that this is trespassing on someone else's territory. Rosalind claims that a common man couldn't handle something like that, but Lady Lyra can, and she just wants the best. The guy claims that this is no reason to send Norilsk to Lady Lyra. But the blonde then asks why it is not possible. Because she fulfilled his request to steal, the guy does not even know what to say after this, and clenches his fists. Well then, the main character stands between these two and tells them to avoid fighting, because she will take this book for the girl, after which the lady thanks her. But Philip replies that if you don't answer, such things are under strict protection. The main character claims that everything is fine because she already has experience, and she will quickly cope with it. A little while later, The girl thinks that now she wants to hit the one who agreed. After all, now a guy with blue hair approaches her and claims that he was wondering who was wandering around there. It turns out they met again. So the young man wishes the mouse a good evening. The main character realizes that she should run after, which she immediately turns around. The blue-haired boy screams at her to wait before grabbing her clothes, but the girl is already starting to teleport. And in the end, the guy is left with a torn piece of clothing. Lyra is on the street at this time, but realizes that her heart is constricting again, and she wonders what is wrong with her. After which, the girl heals herself and sighs, and says that she should leave Hepburn soon. A little while later, she already puts a pile of papers on the table. The blonde is then surprised by their number, and the main character says that these papers are from as many as 8 companies. The lady with light hair then thanks Lady Lyra. Ada claims that it's easy, after which Rosalind claims that she then hurried to school. But the main character claims that now the door is night, and the woman claims that for studying there is no difference between day and night. She also wishes these two good night, and the main character claims that she has not done this for a long time. But after the blonde leaves, Philip asks if the lady is okay. The main character replies that of course, and asks who he thinks she is. She also understands that she panicked a little, but oh well. Philip then says that Rosalina is very kind and indulgent, especially to children who try hard, but are also too stubborn and almost impossible to convince. In relation to Lady Lyra, she will try to extract maximum benefit, so let her not fulfill her requests. The guy also draws attention to the girl's torn clothes and says that especially such dangerous ones. The main character asks if the clothes are really torn, and she didn't even notice, after which she claims that most likely it just got caught somewhere, so he shouldn't pay attention. But Philip claims that nothing lasts forever, and this also applies to ladies, because if she doesn't eat, she'll get stomach problems, and if she doesn't sleep, she'll be constantly tired. And if he overexerts himself, he will break his heart, which makes the main character surprised and wonders how he found out, and also wonders if the guy she arrived with really told him. Philip claims that it was he who recommended the doctor to her, and the main character understands what it means that the doctor who examined her then tells information about patients without his knowledge, and where is the confidentiality anyway? Lyra also claims that since he heard, he knows that she has no problems, and if she gets hurt, it will be her choice. So the girl suggests closing this topic. Well, Philip claims that he clearly remembers those days when the lady did not wake up. The main character then wonders why he suddenly started talking about it. And the young man claims that Rosalind could have done without these papers, although it would have taken more time to study them. But this cannot be compared with the health of Lady Lyra and her life. So Philip wonders why she also sacrifices herself. Well, at that very moment, they hear someone screaming that entry is prohibited without permission, but then he is completely surprised. After which, people in robes enter the room, and Philip immediately closes the young lady and asks who they are. The main character thinks what is going on there. And is it really Peony? Well, this man takes off his cape, and the girl realizes that it is Christopher. Well, she still wonders why His Highness is there. At this time, the man turns to Lyra and asks how she is doing. Philip then asks if the girl really knows him, to which she replies that yes, but in her thoughts, she adds that he is her father. Christopher at this time claims that he has a conversation alone with the two of them, and the main character thinks that all this time he didn't care, so what happened now? After all, he brought such a bunch of people, which means the matter is not simple, and she should not involve Philip in this. The main character, at the same moment, takes the guy by the hand, which surprises him a little, and the young lady says that they must run. She begins to use her magic, but the Emperor orders to seize them, after which one of the servants wraps the lady's hand with a whip. Philip immediately asks if Lady Lyra is okay, and the girl asks, "What is this?" After which he says, "What are they doing? After all, let her go." However, His Majesty tells the boy to rest and then starts using magic. The main character sees the boy fall and wonders why she can't use magic. His Majesty claims that this guy and the girl with red hair are good friends, and thanks to her, it was quite difficult. The main character then asks what they did with Ellie, to which the man replies that they only put him to sleep like this guy. Lyra thinks that, thank God, he is just sleeping well. He claims that the Emperor did nothing when she ran away, so what does he need from her now? The man claims that he really didn't expect her to escape, but then he realized that it would be better for her, and didn't plan to meet her until the time came. Lyra wonders what time he is talking about, and she wants to know. But suddenly, he will understand that she has no memories of the past. Christopher claims that he did not think that everything would turn out to be such a problem. But he was wrong. After which, he takes out a pocket watch and claims that it is so broken. The main character thinks, "What is this?" After which the man claims that it is her heart, and it is breaking. Lyra then goes into shock and thinks what he just said. The man claims that, of course, she will not fall into eternal sleep immediately, but to wait more time, after which he asks if it is possible to examine her. The main character only gets angry about this and understands that her hand is now tied up, and he also asks her permission, but she still can't use magic. However, then the girl says that he can do as he wants, after which the man takes her hand in his and begins to use magic. The girl understands that she has a feeling as if something is passing through her body, and it is very unpleasant. But the emperor tells her to sit still, after which he says that this is how she fell under the magic a long time ago, although it was not visible before, and the man wonders if it was activated after that, because then he understands. The main character asks if he can explain to her, to which he replies that yes, and now. The man asks how much she knows about magic, and whether she studied with anyone, to which the girl replies that she hasn't, and also understands that she already had a good command of it. The emperor then says that he will have to explain the basics. The paper in the heart is magic, and if you overexert yourself, it will have a bad effect on the heart. Not a problem if you need to recover a little, but the body contains very strong magic, and this is a problem. The main character asks why, to which the man replies that magic has the ability to repel other magic, and there would be no problems if she did not have magic or it was weak. It is inside her, now there is a confrontation going on, and her power and the magic applied to her heart constantly collide. Thus, this struggle destroys her. The main character claims that she has generally understood and wonders if it is possible to simply remove the applied magic. The man replies that it won't work that easily, because it's quite complex magic, and he doesn't fully understand what it is. He only knows that it's connected to teleportation magic. Well then, the main character asks where to, which he replies that he can't say because he doesn't know. Well, if she doesn't take it off, then the main character asks if she will fall into eternal sleep, after which the man puts his hand on her head and claims that he wants her to live. The young lady is surprised by this and thinks what he is doing. He never cared about her. This man pretended not to see how she was being bullied, and the girl wondered if he was one of those who protects from the shadows. At this time, another servant tells the lady to give her hand, and Christopher claims that heart disease can be cured with magic, but in her case, it won't work, because if you try, they will only make it worse, and her heart will die. All she can do now is control magic, but only he and Helen can help her, so the man claims that he will save her, and let the girl return to the imperial palace. The main character replies that she does not want to, and the emperor tells her not to bring the one who is with her on the street, yet because there will be trouble. The main character then asks what he is talking about. The man at this time teleports and says that he is waiting her tomorrow's, after which all these people disappear, and only one servant remains, after which he turns to the lady and bows and states that he will also leave her. Then he turns around and runs away. The main character thinks why he is on foot and who is this person on the street, but at that moment, someone opens the window and claims that he was discovered. The blue-haired boy apologizes and claims that he didn't mean to eavesdrop, after which the main character realizes that it is Daniel. But the girl doesn't understand how he ended up there, and she used teleportation magic twice to escape from him. Dragons can of course use forbidden magic, but then the girl remembers how the emperor said, what he knows now is that it is connected with teleportation magic. The dragon at this time approaches the young lady and claims that it is unpleasant because she runs away without even saying hello, and the main character thinks, is it really his doing? After which she wonders if the guy knows her. The young man then says that she is Lyra de Bariana, and the main character wonders if this is a contract with the dragon, and immediately screams if it was he who cast the magic on her, because if so, then let him quickly remove it. But the guy claims that it was not him, after which Lyra screams at him not to lie, because how else could he have gotten there? The young man at this time claims that he followed her scent, and the main character wonders if this is really true, after which the guy replies that yes. He also takes a piece of clothing out of his pocket and claims that he has a very good sense of smell, and also wonders why the girl doesn't know him. The main character then thinks that she should have been more careful, and the guy at this time says, okay, and maybe she didn't recognize him because he is in this form, after which the guy transforms and asks if the lady remembered. The main character is surprised at this time. She remembers how the guy addressed her by name and also asked how she would become happy. The girl wonders if these are Lyra's memories, after which she falls to the floor. The dragon then tells the girl to hold on and cries out her name. He also turns around and asks what to do, because he needs to call a doctor. But then the main character comes to her senses and pulls the guy by the ponytail and also says that it's not worth it. And she just felt a little dizzy, after which he says that's how it is. And also the girl hasn't changed at all because everything still makes you worry. The main character looking at this guy is a little surprised, but then she starts thinking about why her heart is pounding now, and this feeling, as if this is the very first love. Daniel at this time claims that the girl has a red face and asks if she is okay. Well, the main character screams that her heart is bad, so let him not come near. After this, the guy only asks why she is shy, and he feels sad. Then the young man transforms into another form and asks how things are now, after which the girl understands that she has calmed down and also says that it is better this way, because it seems as if he is a childhood friend. Lyra then says that she is glad that they met and thinks that she doesn't want to anymore, after which she apologizes, but says that she doesn't have time today, so could he please come back. Daniel claims that there is nothing to be done, after which he turns around and claims that it is too late, so he will go. But then the main character turns to the guy and tells him to wait. Then she hands him the ring and claims that it helps to pull out clothes, so she gives it to him. Well, the young man claims that he has nothing to give in return, after which the main character says that this is for what she made him worry about. Lyra understands that she wanted to give it to Piane, but she will simply ask Ellie to do more. And this recent episode is starting to interest her. The guy then smiles and pats the lady on the head and thanks her. He also says that the girl is so kind and claims that he will keep this ring, after which he says goodbye. The main character then becomes embarrassed and says yes, but wonders what is wrong with her. A little while later, she carries Philip to the bed and covers him. The girl realizes that he is not hurt anywhere, but he does not wake up, and healing magic does not help. So the girl wonders if she really has no choice but to turn to the Empire. The main character then sighs, but realizes that she does not have time to realize what is happening, and wonders if her heart is stopping. Although she also asks if she should trust him at all, and maybe he just wants her back. But the girl also thinks why only now, and even says such phrases as that, he wants her to live. The young lady then screams, "What is this?" because she's about to explode. But then Philip begins to come to his senses, and then turns to Lady Lyra. The main character immediately runs up to him and asks if the guy is awake. Well, he just takes the lady's hair in his hand and says that he is so glad that she is okay. After which he also says that he will sleep a little more and switches off. The main character wonders if he is talking in his sleep, after which he sighs, and also understands that she needs to think calmly. After all, if the Emperor himself intervened, then it means it's serious and it means it's not just her problem. But then the girl wonders if she's really forgotten something. A little while later, the lady with red hair claims that she thought she would fall into eternal sleep once she sold a mermaid deodorant against fish odor, and she almost drowned, so she thought she was already in the next world. The main character wonders what she was thinking, after which she also apologizes because of no Ellie suffered, but the girl tells her to stop, because you need to apologize when you've done something wrong. Well, the girl wonders why the lady is now asking her for forgiveness. After all, whoever he is, the Emperor or someone else, it doesn't matter to her because she will figure it out. But he should have come earlier for his beloved princess. The main character then asks how the girl knows, and she replies that she started noticing from the very beginning. And she did say that healing and creation is a skill of the Baron family members. Well, she thought that the girl was not from the imperial family only because she did not have green eyes. And when a handsome man with green eyes came for her, she was finally convinced. And she doesn't care whether she is a princess or a wife, she will still have to do her job carefully. The main character then claims that tomorrow she will have to be in the palace for some time, and at that time she will not be able to help her. The man with red hair then claims that she guessed, but wonders why for a while, and whether she is not being returned forever. Lyra answers that when everything calms down, she will return because she does not want to be there, and the lady with red hair then turns to Lyra and also asks if she knows that she is the most skilled and attractive master of the best magic stones. The main character replies that yes, she thinks that it seems to her that in this regard she will never change Ellie, then says that therefore if something happens, then let the girl always come to her, and if she runs away again and also remains alone, then she will be able to provide for her. The main character then smiles and asks if it is true and if she will take her words back later. The woman then only wonders who the girl takes her for. And the next day, the lady with the red hair wakes up and also thinks that her head is splitting, and she drank too much yesterday at this farewell party. Lyra went, but when she enters one of the rooms, she sees boxes with something there, after which she comes closer and thinks whether there is magic in these stones and whether the girl made all these boxes that night. Looking at them, the lady with red hair claims that now she simply has to support her. The main character is in the palace at this time. One of the maids greets her and states that her name is Hannah Estelle and that it is an honor to be her servant Lyra, then says that yes, she wonders if this is really the same private palace since it has changed so much. The maid replies that yes, there was no one there for a long time, so His Highness did the restoration himself. The main character wonders if he really did it himself, but the maid claims that the magic of creation is magnificent because in just one day, he is completely new inside and out. Lyra understands that she completely forgot that he can also use high-level magic, and the girl wonders if this is because all the time among her surroundings, she was the only one content with this. At this time, the maid asks whether to give the lady a tour, and Lyra agrees. As they walk through the palace, the maid claims that yesterday, His Majesty suddenly came to her and offered to become a lady's servant. She thought for a long time, but decided that it was a 1 in a million chance. Their family is quite low status, and they don't have any friends from the capital, so it was her dream to become a servant. The main character thinks that this girl is of course nice, but she is such a chatterbox, just like a high school student during a break in high school. The maid at this time claims that she will really try, and Lyra understands that she likes this type more than some arrogant aristocrat. Hannah also asks if the lady thinks she is lucky because the emperor personally took care of the palace and chose the servants. So as far as she remembers, the lady is very dear to him. The maid also says that she is a little sad on the street and feels sorry for that beautiful table. But when the main character looks at it, she is a little surprised. The maid at this time asks if it looks unusual because it is a table like a birdcage, and she did not notice it at first either, because everything around was overgrown. As she knows, the magic of creation does not concern living things, so it will take time to bring it into a beautiful appearance. The main character at this time remembers how she was little and addressed her Daddy Highness, and also claimed that she learned a new songs. Her mother turned to Lyra and claimed that he was the current ruler of the country, so let her call him His Majesty or Father. The girl then said that he was her dad, so he could be Daddy Highness. The man claimed that he partly agreed, and before becoming a father, he became a ruler. That's why he was called Dad for the first time, and he thanked the girl. Now the main character is surprised and thinks, if these are the memories of this girl again? But what kind of peaceful atmosphere is this, because they are like a family? The lady is okay, and if she is unwell? But the girl replies that no, everything is fine because she is just tired. Hannah then says that for sure, because the lady has returned from the northern part. She was told that she had been going to the academy in the northern part all this time, and the main character thinks that this is how he explained her absence of 6 years, after which she says yes, and the maid asks how it is there, and also if there are many handsome guys. She also asks the lady which one she likes more, and is it hotter or colder, to which the main character replies that she doesn't even know. And the maid then claims that the one who takes first place is definitely a handsome man. This is Pian-haired. They say he is the perfect guy, and the girl asks if the lady knows him. The main character realizes that she would happily talk about him until the morning, but not this time. After which, the lady with a smile on her face says that no, she has not met him, and also wonders if he is really that handsome. But the maid then claims that she thinks they will see each other soon, because he has returned there. Lyra wonders if Pian has arrived in Barianaz, and the maid says that it is true, and the lady does not know because of absence. So she will explain now. His Excellency, Duke Hayard, sent a letter that he wants to transfer the status to his son, but on the condition that his mother also returns. The main character thinks that this damn old man used them again, and Hannah claims that they say she still has doubts, but most likely she will give consent since the future of the child depends on it. The maid also asks how the Duke has the audacity to do this, because the reason for her leaving was betrayal on his part, and there is no one who does not know about it, because even she found out about it in a distant village. But Hannah claims that it is very strange that she is not yet divorced, because if she were in this woman's place, she would have done so long ago. The main character understands that the lady does not even get divorced, and that means that the sadness is so strong. And Hannah claims that, as a girl, she would like to support her, because if a man cheats once he can do it again. The main character answers that she agrees, and sometimes it is even better not to see each other. The Empress is in the garden with Helen at this time. The woman claims that they haven't spent time like this with the girl for a long time. Well, her interlocutor asks for forgiveness and claims that her schedule has been completely full lately, after which the Empress claims that she understands, because she is such a child who gets into any business head-on. Well, let the girl also be careful, because there are plenty of envious people, and her desire is only one, and the girl herself knows it. After all, she doesn't care what the lady will do, is silent after this, but still answers that, yes, and accepts a rose from the Empress. The woman then smiles, and also says that, by the way, this girl has returned. She also heard that His Highness personally took care of the palace repairs and servants, and at first he sends her to the north, and now he takes care of her again. But it was she who protected him and supported him too, and also gave birth to the strongest child, and she needed to put her into eternal sleep together with her mother. Well, then Helen turns to Her Majesty and tells her to calm down. After all, Sienna is no more. The woman then says that she definitely did fall into eternal sleep at the moment of the attempt to poison the princess. It won't be easy to put this girl into eternal sleep. At this time, the main character is in the Emperor's office, and he claims that, as he already said, magic denies other magic, and they begin their confrontation, but healing magic is an exception. She has the ability to obey and can easily accept other magic. She can also put a person to sleep or detect other magic. The main character then says that she didn't know that healing magic could do that. The man claims that of course she didn't really learn how to use it, and the girl is wasting her magical power too irrationally. The same thing when she buys something for 100 copper coins, when she can get it for one, and the main character thinks what it is. The man claims that he does not argue that she can handle her powers, but the more she uses them in excessive quantities, the worse she will make things for herself. Therefore, the lady should be more careful, after which he also hands her a bracelet and tells her to take it. The girl then says that this decoration does not press at all, but wonders why she cannot take it off. The man claims that there is no point if she could take it off, because he will take it off if necessary, and the main character wonders if she is really in captivity. Lyra also wonders if this is what was on her hand, then to which the man replies that, yes, it is made from lapitanus juice and also blocks magic. The main character then asks if this is the same tree from the legend, but the man replies that it is not just a legend, because the tree is in the east of the country, and lapitanos is the magic of Pleiada. And the magic of Pleiada flows in the room too, and he cannot use it on the territory of Lapitanos. The main character says that it is because she repels other magic, and the man replies that everything is correct. And in general, this is secret information, because if someone else finds out about this, they will immediately want to cut down the tree, and the main character says that he himself is spreading this information, after which she asks nothing, but that he is now telling her about this. The Emperor claims that Helen knows too, and he thinks the lady could do with it. The main character wonders if she knows about the man who claims that Helen is a talented child, and she herself feels the power of Lapatanos, so she guessed about it herself. While the young lady then says that maybe she shouldn't have told her, because she's not competing with her. Lyra also understands that the more she knows, the worse. And the emperor claims that Helen has a different opinion of her because she is afraid of the lady and considers her her competitor. The main character then asks why, and the man claims that this is because she already knows that the lady possesses magic. Helen at this time returns to the palace, and the maids greet her, but then they see that the lady's hand has turned blue. After which, one of the maids asks if something has happened, and also screams for a doctor to be brought. Well, the lady claims that everything is fine, after which she heals her hand, and also says that now everything is fine, and also they can go. One of the maids then says yes, and then they leave. Helen at this time only sighs, and then looks at the rose. She also recalls how one lady told the girl not to be shy and try this tea, so now she just looks at the black rose and thinks how stupid she is. A little while later, the guy claims that his name is Ifpin, and that he has been entrusted with protecting the lady. The main character then says that it was him that time, after which the guy apologizes for that incident. And Lyra tells him not to pay attention because it was an order. The guy then claims that he will try to stay out of the way as much as possible and let the lady call him if she needs anything. There was also an order from His Highness for the lady to be present at the family fishing, and the main character asks, what if she doesn't want to? The guy claims that of course there is the possibility of refusing, but it is advisable to be present for at least 30 minutes, so he asks to accept the offer. The main character thinks that she still wanted to talk to Philip, but she also doesn't want to worsen the relationship between the Imperials. At this time, the maid tells the lady to rely on them because the outfits are already prepared, and the main character claims that she has not yet given her consent, after which the two look at her with pleading eyes, and the girl then agrees. A little while later, she is already at the table. One of the ladies says that it looks like Princess Lyra is suited for life in the village. You see, even the color of her face has improved. And the other one claims that the air in the northern part is good, and outdoor games are allowed in the academy. The main character understands that she meant that the girl was not afraid, and only played, and did not study at all. The Empress at this time claims that as far as she knows, there are markets there where common people can go, and the main character thinks why the places were distributed exactly like this, and she is also next to Helen. The lady with pink hair at this time claims that, by the way, Duke Herun, from the Kingdom of Mare, is studying at the academy, so the girl asks if the lady has seen him. Well, after this, the main character asks who it is, and one of the women claims that she is not surprised, because the Duke would not bother with her kind. The lady with pink hair then says that she thought the girl at least knew a little about high society. The main character only laughs sadly after this, and also thinks that she hoped that they would not mock her in front of His Highness. But she was wrong. After which, the girl also sees how one of the maid's skirt is lifted by the wind. The girl immediately apologizes and claims that it was the wind. And the main character watches all this and wonders if the prince really lifted the maid's skirt with magic. And why does he use magic at all? Well, then the girl understands that now she knows that she can detect the magic of others. And the bracelet won't hurt, since it's connected to healing magic, after which she uses detection. Lyra sees magic and realizes that it is true that the Imperials have magic, although not much. But when she looks at her sister, she thinks, what kind of light is this? And it's so bright. Helen at this time looks at the girl and their glances intersect. The blonde also claims that the lady should not have returned. If she doesn't want to compete with her, the main character at this time is wondering if she really considers her a rival, but she has no desire to deal with the main character at all. After which, Lyra asks why Helen thinks so. But when the girl does not answer, she understands that Helen is completely misunderstanding hers. At this time, another girl turns to Lyra and also claims that she heard she had excellent grades at the academy, and she is not smart at all. So how could she do this? The main character thinks that His Majesty even arranged everything like this. At this time, the prince says that it is clear that the academy managers took care of it, because after all, this girl is a member of the imperial family, and she is lucky because even though there is nasty blood mixed in her, Lyra thinks whether they dared to argue with her, and she understands that if Helen says something, but these little upstarts, it's too much. After which, the main character asks her brother why he doesn't think first before speaking. After all, he says this, but weren't there people from the imperial family who studied well before? After which, she asks Princess Odelia if this is true, and the guy doesn't realize it. But his previous phrase insulted not only her, but the entire imperial family, Lyra thinks that she never learned how to communicate in such situations, but experience tells her. At this point, the guy screams at this damn redneck not to dare underestimate him, after which the main character asks him what he is talking about, because her mother is a commoner, but she is a member of the imperial family, and he doesn't think that her mother could have given birth to her alone, or he takes into account another person, which became the reason for her birth, after which the guy claims that under no circumstances. But at the same moment, the Empress turns to her son and claims that he stands before His Highness, so let him not disgrace her. The guy then droops and says yes, and the Empress turns to Princess Lyra and claims that she sees the girl has learned interesting things at the academy, but with such abilities she will easily gain status in society. The main character thinks that for nothing, after which she claims that this will be too heavy a burden for her and that she is going to return to the north. Helen then asks, a little surprised, if she is going to return, to which the main game does not answer, saying that yes, because she wants to do something quiet. And in her thoughts, she adds that she is not going to compete with Helen. The Emperor, noticing this, only smiles. A little while later, the girl is already sitting on her bed, after which she sees someone appear next to her. It turns out to be the Emperor, and the main character says how late he is. The man apologizes and claims that he had urgent matters, after which the main character tells him to take off the bracelet, and the man says that it looks like she is angry with him. The young lady replies that she has no right to do this, and that he didn't care about her before. The Emperor then sighs, and says that as far as she knows, it is useless to try to do anything with Arna, because she is a very jealous woman. The main character wonders if he is talking about the Empress, and wonders why he cares so much about her. Christopher says he didn't think the lady would ask him about it, and she's changed a lot. The main character then realizes that she needs to be more careful with her words, and says that they haven't seen each other for 6 years. The man claims that he can tell her, because they have a contract. Lyra asks if he is talking about the marriage contract. The man claims that if it is broken, the guilty party will fall into eternal sleep. Arne, she promised that she would make every effort to ensure that he became emperor, and he promised that she would be empress, and that she would have all the rights. Therefore, he cannot make claims against her, because the power is basically in her hands by their agreement. But she cannot just take and plunge the girl into eternal sleep. Therefore, the most important thing for all of them is that she does not cross the line of what is permitted. After which, the Emperor removes the bracelet from the young lady's hand and says that it is ready, but that she should not behave unreasonably just because he removed the bracelet. Well, at least she can have some fun. The main character immediately teleports to her friends. Rosalind, at the same moment, approaches Lyra and claims that she learned everything from Ellie, so she asks if the lady is okay, to which she replies that she is, and asks if Philip has woken up. The blonde replies that yes, and he is Noah now, but they haven't returned yet, and she will also inform them to be notified. The main character then says that she wanted to see him too, but the lady with red hair asks why she shouldn't wait. Lyra replies that she has time limits, and she also turns to Ellie and asks if she could make another ring like that. The woman then screams in shock, wondering if she really lost it, to which the girl replies that no, and that she gave it to someone else. Melody with red hair then says that there is another guy in her life. The main character says no, but Ellie hands her the ring and claims that it is hers, so she can give it to her and let the girl accept it with gratitude. The main character then thanks her and thinks that she doesn't know yet when she will be able to go out, so it's better to give it to Pian right away, after which the girl says that she will go then and let them tell Philip and Noah so that they don't worry. Then the main character teleports to the Empire of Chiron and looks out the window and also understands that there is a light on there. So what should she do, and is it really worth coming another time? But she doesn't even know when that will be. At the same moment, someone turns to the girl and asks if the bunny really likes to walk on the roof. This guy says that they haven't seen each other for a long time. When the main character turns around, she thinks that it's terrible because she caught the eye of this guy again, and all that's left to do is run. At this time, Paris claims that Pian is not there, and the main character asks what he is talking about. And she also thinks, how did this guy understand that she wanted to see Pian? Did he really do it by smell? The guy at this time claims that he thinks that this guy is now in the house of Count Hayard, so she better hurry up because not everything is fine there. The main character thinks, what does it mean? I'm fine, and whether the guy is sick. Well, then she also understands that she shouldn't trust this guy's words. However, she still thinks that if it's true, it would be better to check. After which, the main character thanks him and teleports. The brunette at this time understands that he forgot to say that the guy is drunk, but thinks that, oh well. When the girl teleports, she realizes that she has already used magic 3 times, and it is a bit difficult. Well, then she finds a bottle of alcohol in the room and wonders what it is. Then she looks at the bed and sees a guy sleeping there. She realizes that he has hair like silver threads and long eyelashes and a thin chin. And also, what catches her eye? And then the main character almost touches the guy's chest. But at the same moment, he takes off his cape and thinks that he needs to hide this beauty. Lyra understands that it was dangerous because it's not for nothing that the guy is so handsome, and she also sees that there are no problems, except that he is drunk. But then the girl also understands that she needs to hurry. She also claims that she will leave the ring there, and also a note on how to use it, after which the girl understands that everything is ready, and it is time for her to leave. But when she is about to do so, someone grabs her hand. It turns out to be Pian, and the guy says that he missed the ferry. The girl's heart almost jumps out from this. She also tells the guy to wait and suggests that he let her go first. But he replies that if he doesn't answer, she will go to the world of fairies. Lyra asks why he keeps repeating this, because he didn't believe in it before. But the young man claims that he simply couldn't be honest. After all, the lady is so beautiful, so it is obvious that she is a fairy. The main character, then confused, asks if he is doing this on purpose. But the guy then asks her what she thinks. After which, the young lady immediately leans back and also screams for him to wait. Lyra understands that she was able to overcome herself and that she did well. And the young man wonders if this is a dream. The main character screams that this is reality and also tells him to let her go. Well, the guy immediately hugs the main character and claims that he missed her. And there wasn't a day when he didn't think about her, and he didn't even know her name, so he asks her to tell him. But the young lady claims that it is impossible, and the young man then smells something and also wants to say something, but then just hugs the girl and says that nothing. The main character then tells him to listen. After all, he reeks of alcohol and the young man immediately moves away. He also apologizes and claims that he didn't even think that he would meet her, so he'll go wash up. Lyra then says that she was joking and apologizes because she didn't know that the guy would take everything seriously. Then the girl claims that now she can return and also let Pian hold on. Paris is still sitting outside at this time and wonders if the girl was able to meet his brother, after which he sighs and thinks why he should worry about it at all. After all, he had even thought about putting him into eternal sleep before. That was when the dragon woke up in him. Then the guy was more than shocked, but at the same time happy, because he even began to suspect that this was some kind of optical illusion. But it was all real, so Paris wonders if it's because they're from the same family. And in the end, he did something completely different than he planned. 5 hours before Pian meets Lyra, the guy is sitting with his brother and drinking. Paris asks if he will go to Hayard's house to get the title, to which he replies that he still doubts. But Paris wonders if this won't be a plus for him. After all, he thinks that this is a good offer. But Pian replies that he said that he still thinks he needs to go with his mother because they won't let him go alone. The black dragon then says that it will definitely be hard for her to be there too. At this time, Pian turns to his brother and asks if he remembers the fairy, but the black dragon wonders if he got drunk and the guy started hallucinating. But Pian claims that he also saw her on the day when the dragon awakened in him. He said that she had hair that was as bright as the stars or the moon, and violet eyes that you could literally drown in Paris, claims that he didn't say that, and thinks that his brother is definitely drunk. After which he claims that he understood who the guy was talking about, and that this girl was really pretty. Pian replies that she is not only beautiful in appearance, but also smart and kind, and also has magic. And the most important thing is how she smells Paris in shock. Claims that he will write these words on his grave. After which, he asks who she is, to which Pian replies that he doesn't know. If only he knew her name. Paris then wonders if he would take her. The young man with tears in his eyes asserts that he could say everything. Paris then goes into shock and screams that if his brother continues to drink in front of him, he will put him into eternal sleep. So let him go somewhere to Hayard's house. Pian then gets up and says that she will definitely come there. After which, he teleports away and also claims that he needs to go. Paris, at this time, only thinks how stubborn he is. Now the brunette claims that he didn't think he would be his drinking buddy, but what interesting turns the events take. Then someone still approaches the black dragon, and he wonders if he is already sober, after which everyone asks him why he is so wet. Pian then screams at the guy to shut up, and also asks why the fairy was smelling of him. Paris replies that she came there, so he told her where Pian was. But then he sees the ring on the guy's hand and is a little surprised. Then he asks what kind of ring it is. Pian claims that the girl gave him this ring, and it is supposedly a magic stone that helps to dress. Paris claims that if he is right, then this girl is not bad, after which he also takes out a ring from his pocket. Pian asks why he also has this ring, and the black dragon answers, Bariana, after all. The main character is with his majesty at this time, uses magic. When a man lets go of her hand, he claims that it is good and compares it to the first time it is already better. So today they will finish on this. He also asks how the girl's heart feels, to which she replies that the frequency has decreased when it hurts. His Majesty claims that the condition has improved now, but it is still dangerous, and her magic is developing and growing. The young lady realizes that he has taken out the watch again, and she realizes that it is somehow connected to her, but still thinks that if that Lyra knew, and she just can't ask Christopher at this time, asks if she has any questions, to which the main character replies that she doesn't, and she is curious when they will finish the treatment. But the Emperor claims that unfortunately all his life, and the girl asks why. He answers that even if you put the magic in order, so while other magic will continue to climb, nothing will be fixed. The main character then asks if the Emperor could finally figure out what kind of magic it is, and he replies that there is something he didn't tell her, and the girl understands that he is still just as secretive, after which she asks what it is. The man claims that the magic that is currently affecting her is the magic of Lapratanos, which surprises the girl and asks if it was he who cast the spell on her. However, the man replies that it was not him, and that is why it is strange. But it is absolutely certain that this magic is Pleta, and the bracelet is proof. The man also claims that he knows one person who is good at unusual magic. At this time, the main character asks who it is, and he replies that the girl knows her because it is her mother, Sienna. Helen stands in front of the painting at this time and understands that it is still there. But this is not surprising. After which she turns to Empress Sienna and claims that she did everything possible, and also she knows. A little while later, the main character writes something down and realizes that the situation needs to be resolved. Her heart hurts because it is fighting the magic that was inflicted, and this magic belongs to the magic of Pleta. Majesty can use such power, but it was not him, and there is one woman who can use special magic. It is her mother, and the main character wonders if this means she is guilty. Well, she still doesn't understand the reason. Lyra, she thinks that it didn't seem to her that Christopher was lying, but still somehow she doesn't believe it. In your memories, all three of them were happy, so the girl wonders why Lyra fell into eternal sleep. At this time, she hears someone else knocking on the door and telling that person to come in. After which the maid enters the room and tells the princess that a guest has come to see her. The main character then wonders who it is, but a little while later, she is already sitting opposite Helen. The girl thinks how uncomfortable she is, and how soon this pressure will plunge her into eternal sleep. When the lady with the blonde hair finishes her cup of tea, she thanks him and says that she will go, and the main character wonders if she really just came to drink tea, and if this is really a cafe. Lyra also asks Princess Helen if she had any business with her, to which the girl replies that she did not. And the main character says that this is how it thinks what is wrong with her, and does she really have such a hobby as just coming? Helen at this time says, so that the girl does not misunderstand her, because she was told to come to her, Lyra asks, who did this? To which Helen replies that no one except one person could have told her such a thing, and that was Her Majesty Sienna. The main character wonders if she is doing this on purpose to keep her promise, and maybe this girl is just not very sociable and doesn't know how to communicate with people. Well, then the girl thinks that it doesn't matter, because this is her chance. And it needs to be said again, after which the lady tells Princess Helen that she will repeat herself and is not going to compete with her. She returned there because her condition has worsened, and His Highness is helping her to heal. But the lady with the blonde hair wonders if the girl wants to be believed. After all, it is enough to give it once, and there will be no second time. After which the girl leaves.